No, I don't have those this time. Not this time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for a massive episode 40 of Idiots on a Mic. Rod is not with us today. He's going to be an early bird and get that worm tomorrow morning. So he had to. Man, he's probably asleep already. I just got off the phone with him like 10 minutes ago. We're going to roll. Our manager, Mr. Sweat himself, is with us in his place. Going to help us introduce our guest. He's wrapping some things up, so we'll get him on once he's ready. So your what did you call him? Brother nephew. Tony's going to be on with us today. I got to be honest with you, man. His resume is way too fine for the show that we're about to seemingly disgrace his presence with. But I'm glad he agreed to come on, and hopefully he might be watching the first 5 minutes, see how it goes, and then deciding from there if he wants to be a part of it or not. But
that might be it. That might be it.
I'm super excited. So he's got some AFL experience. He played at OSU. So huge fan base for him in the area that we're going to be recording from. He's working in the medical field now out in Los Angeles. So we're going to kind of ask a few questions about that. However, we're going to do what we always do. We got some goofy ass questions coming his way once we can get him on, get him rolling. So Mr. Sweat, you painted a target on your back. We put in that 2-hour episode last time we had you on. Tommy has been gunning for you ever since.
I don't think he can get it, man. I really don't.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. We got something big in the works, and if he's willing to carve out a large chunk of time, then maybe.
We'll let him have that. I might let him have that. He's a little bit younger than me. He can stay up longer.
Yeah, I forgot you got your AARP naps. You got to squeeze in throughout the day.
Whoa. Hold on, Maddie. Hold on.
What are you doing to me?
That's why I'm drinking these Heineken 0.0s on a Wednesday night. You can't drink during the week, beer and bourbon, so I have to choose one or the other. But I like the taste of beer, and I'd rather have the bourbon.
So for what we're trying to work on going forward here during the summertime at some point, it's going to be you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning kind of mentality is what we're going for for a good cause. Hopefully, we'll have to iron out some of those details, but long gone are the days of drinking all day. Is that what you're saying?
Well, let's just put it this way. If I drink during the day, don't depend on me to do anything in the night. Not going to happen. It's just not going to. I'm going to tell you that right now.
That's a fantastic point. I think,
especially in the summertime in the heat, I'm out, man. I'm out.
Not a chance. Not a chance. See, now I've been on trips with you both for work and for fun, and
okay, I'm listening.
I know for a fact one thing is for certain. If you're drinking all day, even if you're out in the sun, you ain't working. So,
is that what we're doing now? Wait a minute. I tried to get you to take a picture of me up on the roof, both in Minneapolis and in Cleveland, but you would not take a picture of me working. You only let me take pictures of you. Now that's wrong.
That's right.
That's wrong.
That's exactly what happened. I was like, yeah, you want to get this real quick? People won't believe me. And then it was your turn. Yeah, and you were actually doing the bulk of the work, if we're being honest, right?
No, let's be honest. No, I wasn't. No. Hey, you got to admit I was of some help, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, finding the stairwell seemed to be your area of expertise.
Man. If I recall right, dog's making his entrance.
Yeah.
If I recall right, you're the one who made us walk all the way down the other end of the hallway. But moving on, no problem. I can handle that. So what's Maddie drinking this evening?
Well, we've got the Old Faithful here in the Yeti koozie, by the way. I always expect a long show when I got you on. We got a lot of good things to talk about. So I got the lattes in there.
Okay. The Boucher latte.
I still got my youth and a little rot gut beer. Never hurt anybody. So
right.
So the lattes.
Old guys.
I do also have, now this isn't 2 stacks in a can, which we will talk about here in a second. However, this is what we got when we were in Minneapolis. I got my Long Branch here, 2 stacks in a can. So we get done. We get done with our work, right? Because we put it in. We put in our work early. We get it done. We get out, and we're on our way back to the hotel. We got some time to kill. Why don't we go do something nice? Which, by the way, we ended up right at the airport was our hotel.
That's a whole nother story, but okay.
Which was a convenience, I tell you what. So we swing in. There's a liquor store not too far away, and we're kind of scoping some things out, seeing what Minneapolis has to offer. And lo and behold, so we like to talk about Matthew McConaughey every now and then on the show. Had to go with the Wild Turkey Long Branch. Got to say, I am not disappointed. I am not disappointed.
Really?
Very good.
Now that's Wild Turkey Long Branch.
Yes, I think so. Now you're going to make me second guess it. Wild Turkey something or other, and it's good.
Are you sure it's not the 101?
It's not the 101. It's not the 101.
Okay, all right. I'm just checking. I just want to be sure.
I should have had the bottle up here for my sake, honestly, because I'm a very forgetful person.
Well, tonight I am sipping on I'm finishing up a bottle of Woodford Double Oaked, Woodford Reserve Double Oaked.
Ooh.
I had this the other night. I was drinking this the other night while I was cooking on the grill. This really suits my palate. It is in all the bourbons that I own. I like this as a daily drinker. It's a good sipper. So if you haven't had it yet, Woodford Double Oak, give that a try.
Woodford Double Oak. Now, is there? You got people over. You got a little social event going on. What's the bourbon for that occasion? Are you still going with the Woodford?
No, I'm going with. I'm not bringing that out. I'm
get that cheap shit out here. You guys can sip on the peasant stuff.
I'm bringing out some Knob Creek probably. New Riff, the distillery from down there in Cincinnati, Kentucky area. We actually have equipment on that, very small piece of equipment on that. Their tower there. So I'm doing something like that. Either Knob Creek, Basil Hayden is another one. It's nicely priced for a crowd. Okay. And then I'm going to make going to make some Manhattans too. Manhattans and some other foo drinks for the ladies.
Yeah, for
probably gonna get in trouble for that. I'm gonna get in trouble for that, but all right,
Yeah, especially in a world of cancel culture. The tread lightly mentality is always in the back of your mind, but we're here to have a good time. We're not going to pick on anybody, but
no. And that's just not what we do. We pick on each other.
We pick on each other a lot. Plenty of that.
Right. So tell me, you said Rod, aka Nick, is working a new job, right? Is that correct?
That is correct. Okay. Somewhat new. Same company, different position.
So you don't feel that he's probably going to bed right now?
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I think he's probably stuffing his face with something stuffing his face with something real quick and then calling it a night. You have been
oops. That's all I can say is oops. So we can talk about Rod all night then.
Absolutely. He might catch maybe 10 minutes of the show. He chimed in last time he had to jump off of here. I don't even know if you remember that from last time. So I would expect some comment at any given point. However, it will likely be uncreative. It will likely be Something he pulled right off the internet. If I had to guess,
For sure,
it will definitely be
something that somebody told him or got him with. You know, he's going to try to get you back with that.
Exactly. And when pressed about it, he will act as if it is his own. So that's something we're going to have to probably deal with. We'll catch one of those jabs when they come in, but we'll go ahead and blow right by them and give him a few knockout blows if that comes to terms.
So where's your old man tonight? I don't see him chiming in yet. Is he in town?
I'm glad you say that.
There he is.
He is at home. He was just in Bristol with his friends last weekend, which is nothing but getting sauced and watching cars drive in a circle for hours and hours. Which
not a race fan, are you?
I used to be, but what I'm interested in, I will definitely go on those trips if invited, simply for the comedic alcohol content that takes place. I believe the intention is to make one person throw up per year. Doesn't sound like doesn't sound like that took place this year, but I got some things to prepare for. We got actually while we're on the subject of picking on Rod's bachelor party is next weekend.
Okay.
So I may be looking for a replacement co-host because we may have killed Rod by the end of his bachelor party.
Gotcha.
Keeping it real low profile, renting a cabin, and getting boozed up. Plain and simple.
That sounds like a great time to me. So you're telling me your father hasn't invited you to Bristol yet?
Well, I'm not going to say that because he has, and I'll get my ass chewed tomorrow if I tell the people he hasn't.
Even I had an invite.
No,
wow. He's never invited me. None of them have ever invited me. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm not hurt by it or nothing. Doesn't bother me at all. I know all the guys that go, but I've never been invited.
Huh. That is interesting. Weird.
So listen, before Tony comes on, I've prepped you with a lot of stuff. Are you ready?
Yes. I'm glad you say that. I don't have a second monitor. However, my TV above me acts as my second monitor.
Okay.
I have this profound resume sitting just above me. And even if it wasn't physically above me, his accomplishments in comparison to mine are far above some of the things that I've done. And
I feel like I haven't done anything in life.
I just want to now we're gonna put him on the spot a little bit before he comes on. So I want to show something that you actually sent me earlier, if we can do that. Can we spot him? Can we spot him? This is a gentleman in the white coat, correct?
White coat, that's correct. That is him.
Now, was the Locke family just in general just endowed with fantastic looks? This guy's he's in here in catalogs.
I tell you this much. A lot of black people say my family has Indian in it. They like to claim American, Native American Indian. But really, on my mom's side, my grandfather on my mom's side was a purebred American Indian, as far as I've been told. I could be lying. I don't know. But on both sides, on the Locke side and the Adams side of his family, very, very good looking people on both sides of the family. So he got it, honestly. He really did. What? Mike, come on, man. Come on. Look at the family. Yeah, look at the family you built. Look at your good looking kids. Come on.
What are you talking about? Everything. We got everything from our mother, though. That's the thing.
Including the height.
That's right. That's for damn sure.
Has Tony clicked in yet?
No, not yet.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Just give me a second. I'm gonna send him a text message real quick. So you go ahead and highlight yourself there.
While you're doing that, let me go ahead. Let's get our little intro out of the way. And
perfect. Let's go.
I will also get our CBD promo going. So while I've got everybody, thank you all who are listening, who are chimed in so far. Got a few comments coming in from you guys. Really appreciate it. We'll go ahead. We'll run our intro video. This is just a nice little start-stop point for us. I know you guys probably get bored with it, but it's something we like to run, highlight some of our key moments up to this point, and we'll talk a little bit about our CBD promotion. Let's kick it off. Here we go.
If I give you a beer and you didn't finish it right on the spot, like we'd have
You're kind of slaughter them all because now I know they're plotting against me, them motherfuckers. I'm on to you. That was the most disgusting moment of Rod's life.
Next question.
There was a follow-up about a finishing move, but I'm not so sure I want to ask that.
Cheers. Awesome. So last episode we had one of our good friends, Steve from CBD Brothers USA, came on. We talked a little bit about their product and what they got. Everything from healing side of it. If you've got inflammation, if you're not getting enough sleep, we've got something for that. Take a little bit of CBD with the melatonin in it. You're not only going to get those anti-inflammatory factors, you're also going to get that melatonin, which is going to help you not only fall asleep faster, but give you a deeper sleep. We also got, you guys probably saw the dog kick the door in earlier. We've got some CBD drops for the pets. So if you got a dog that's got a little bit of high anxiety, cats as well, then that's something you may want to do. Little droplets, little oil tincture right into their food, 1 or 2 drops a day. And that's going to help with that anxiety. It's going to help them stay calm throughout the day. Go check it out, cbdbrothersusa.com. And we are still, in fact, running our promotion. If you go to cbdbrothersusa.com, code IDIOTSONMIC, you're going to get 25% off and free shipping. Those guys are a huge help. If you have any questions, reach out to them. They're great conversationalists. They'll give you all the information that you're looking for. And not only that, we just discovered that Steve's, Sexy Steve, as he likes to refer to himself, his wife is now going to be taking over a lot of the business operations. So a lot of success there, a lot of great product. And once we get into that THC involvement conversation, who knows where that's going to go, if that's going to be a whole nother thing for them to get into. We'll just have to keep our eyes on it. I'm excited to see what's going on with them and what their future holds. So cbdbrothersusa.com, code IDIOTSONMIC at checkout for 25% off and free shipping. Let's bring my boy back on. What's the good word?
So listen, first of all, CBD. Give me a little bit of background of what you know about CBD. Sherry's already on. She said her knee is on swole right now. Now listen, background. This is our second week into going back down in the dungeon. You've been in my gym downstairs. This is our
dungeon is a good name for it, yeah.
Right. This is my second week, our second week. Only 1 day off. So we've done 9 or 10 days now. So now she's saying her knee is hurting. So is CBD good for a knee pain? Is it good for my wrist pain? Is it good for, I stubbed my toe earlier today? Is it good for things like that? What do you know about CBD oil?
So CBD oil is a fantastic, great question, by the way. CBD oil. So it's an all natural hemp product. Everything that's put into it is going to be all natural. And whereas if it is like a stub to toe kind of thing, I'm going to say it's not really great for something like that. This is more of joint inflammation, so that it soaks in and it takes time. Whereas if you're stubbing your toe, few days go by, maybe a week or two goes by, that's going to go away, and just kind of naturally one of those things that you have to let the blood just flow back out from that area.
Okay.
However, joint pains especially, very good for joint pain. This is a long term, and the benefit is if you're using anti-inflammatories, over the counters, Tylenols, Aleve, Advils, things like that. That's going to also over time cause kidney damage, liver damage. You're not getting those same effects with the CBD products.
Right.
I use it, so I've been trying to solely cut weight. I've been running, 5 miles in the morning for the past week or so, and that constant impact, that getting beat up, my knees are killing me. That's what CBD is good for. That proactive. I get done with a run, I put it on, I go to bed, I put it on before I go to bed, and over time, that's going to have that same effect as those Aleves, those Advils, those Tylenols, without those negative effects.
So you're using an ointment that's got the THC, or no, I'm sorry, THC is that what's in it, right?
So currently THC free, and that's the big. So when you think of marijuana actually has more or less a combination of the two, whereas CBD is solely the non-psychoactive portion of that, whereas THC is the psychoactive. Now, THC has become legal in a lot of states now. Ohio probably on the back end of the curve, honestly, with the way the country is going as a whole.
Right.
And once that becomes legalized, then whether they offer products that all have THC in them, or they offer ones that are THC free, or ones with THC, and then you can take your pick, then you're going to start to have those kind of more psychoactive, not necessarily like you're not always looking to get high. Maybe it helps you just kind of calm. Maybe it's an anxiety thing, which CBD does to a small degree.
Right.
But not near the same degree as the THC is going to do.
And there are products for pets. That's correct.
Yes. So they have chews and they have little oil droplets, one or the other. They're going to function as the same. You can either put a couple droplets in their dog food, or you can give them a chew in the morning, at night, whenever they're going to experience their most anxiety throughout the day is when you're going to want to administer that for them. And it's just a nice calming effect.
And last question, CBD Brothers, are they local to Columbus, Ohio area?
Yes. So I want to get this right. I want to get this address right. So give me just a second to pull up the address. They work out of a podiatry office. So Steve Caswell works at a podiatry office. They actually hold all of their products and everything there. So if you want to go purchase it at the podiatry office, you can go in, purchase it, and you don't have to worry about shipping payments. Now, if you're a listener to the show, you ain't worrying about shipping payments anyways, because you're getting 25% off and free shipping.
For sure.
However, you can go to their website at cbdbrothersusa.com. And let me pull this up for you guys here. And you can order from their website and have it shipped directly to you as well. That is an option. So whatever tickles your fancy, man. If you want to go in, talk to them, they have it all listed for you here as soon as I pull it up. So they've got everything you could possibly need. They've got it laid out. You can shop whether you want oils, gels, creams, anything. And then you go to their contacts. So they actually have their location listed for you on High Street. So right down 23. Okay. If you're heading towards Columbus, you keep going 23 south, and that podiatry office is right off 23 there.
Okay, perfect. Great job, CBD Brothers. Great job.
Absolutely. And they're going to be a part of our marathon episode, we're kind of calling it. Hopefully.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
Let's talk about that because, to be honest, right now we don't have a lot of sponsorship for this show, CBD Brothers. And then we like to, what I like to say, or the way I see it is, our sponsorship are our friends and our families. We're all chipping in to do this thing. I know your mom and dad are doing have done a lot for the show.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're just trying to all do things so that we can actually build this show to what we think it can be. You know, I am honored that you asked me to be part of the management team here because I really, really believe in you and Rod, Nick, and what you're doing. And even if Nick is, when he's out and I have to fill in, I enjoy these times. So I feel like we can get a little bit more sponsorship from our friends and family. It doesn't take too much to do this show, but we want to take this thing to higher levels and reach a broader audience is what we want to do.
And we do. And part of the reason we created this is there's two dipshits sitting there on the couch telling what we think is funny stories. Now that's up for debate. And we just want to make people laugh. We want to make people laugh, and we want to make this something that we can give back. That's kind of the ultimate goal for me in creating this is we want to be able to give back. Now you see I've got the ribbon on today. This is not our design. This is Baseballism's design. They've got the home plate built into the ribbon, and you can write in I rally with whoever you want. That's a big thing for us. We've talked about cancer multiple times on the show. So one thing for me is to give back to whether it's the American Cancer Society or other organizations such as the American Cancer Society for that research. I know I'm willing to bet one person in everybody's life has been affected by cancer in some way, shape, or form, whether it's you yourself, whether it's a friend, a family member, on one side or the other that has dealt with it. It's a beast. I want to be able to give that back. So what you see, this production in this room here, we're not trying to make this that much better. I don't want some fancy office that we get all this stuff set up. Now that would be nice, maybe over time, but a lot of our sponsorships are going to go towards giving back. That's the ultimate goal.
So what made you feel confident enough to start a show like this?
Well, I figured so there's this awkward sales guy that works with us, right? And he's done all these things. He DJs. He's done.
I know this guy.
He's been involved in music.
I know this guy.
And things like that.
I know this guy.
And he's a smooth talker. And I thought to myself, you know what? If this goofy ass motherfucker can go out and talk to anybody and everybody all throughout his way. No, I mean, honestly, a big part of it is the profession that I'm in now. I have to talk to all sorts of different people. I've been a talker my whole life, but to be able to go out and actually converse with anybody and everybody, like you guys are going to see, this is actually Tony is in our broadcast room right now. This is the first time I've ever talked to Tony, and we're going to have a great conversation with him. So without further ado, let's actually go ahead and introduce new friend of the show. Now, let me hold on. I got to pull this up. I got to get this right because we talked about it 2 or 3 times now. The resume that this man holds is rather astounding. And you sent me an extensive list of the accomplishments, the capabilities of this man. So let me pull this up. I want to do this justice because I'm grateful for him to take the time to come on. I know, granted, West Coast, it's early for him yet, so he probably hadn't even eaten dinner yet or nothing. We've got time for him.
He's coming right off the road to the show. I hope he changed at least and got some comfortable clothes on because normally he's a little bit suited up. So we'll see what he looks like today.
So while I'm introducing him, I want to build this up for him. This is actually something that let's lock it down for today. So born and raised out of Springfield, Ohio. Okay. Okay. Smaller town, Ohio, right? Grew up in Urbana, hometown. That's home for you as well.
Yes,
that's hometown for you as well. Sixth. All right. This is where the accomplishments already start to get carried away. Sixth in the class. Played all these sports: football, basketball, ran track. Probably broke records if I had to guess. 5 years of professional football in the AFL, and
yes, sir.
If I'm not mistaken, a walk-on at Ohio State.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So went to Ohio State on academic scholarship. Now we're walking on. We're being a beast here at Ohio State. We're going to talk a lot about some. Hopefully, we've got some locker room stories. I always like. We had a couple guys that played in the indoor football league. That had a couple locker room stories, and it was great because they were teammates, offensive linemen. So we'll see what the relationship's like with Tony with offensive linemen. If it's a love hate or hate relationship, we'll talk about that. Now we're talking about 10 years in the medical field with different medical devices. I imagine the hat size on Tony has to be like an 8.5 to fit that ginormous brain of his.
He is a very intelligent, very analytical young man. Let me put it that way.
So let's bring him on as we're continuing to go through this, so he can chime in with this resume. There might be something I'm missing where he's like, actually, dipshit. It was 14 years in the medical field. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Locke. Thank you, Tony, for coming on with us. Mr. DJ Sweat trying to get us kicked off the air because he's playing maybe copyrighted music. I don't know. Allegedly copyrighted music.
I think I wrote that song, to be honest with you.
So Tony, all day I've been studying this email that's sitting above my head, and I'm thinking to myself, like, your accomplishments deserve to be on a much more profound podcast than ours. However, I'm glad you're taking the time to jump in with us. We've got a lot to talk about today. You just came off the road, it sounds like. What do we got going on today? What was today like for you?
Well, before I dive into that, I have to first off say you guys have really set your listeners up for a colossal failure. You could keep talking all day long. Because actually, like, I was having a bit of a bad week. I feel great again. Thank you for all the adulation and look. Don't you guys? Are you aware that you can write your own Wikipedia page? I don't even know that how much of that's true. I was just feeling myself a bit. I said, it would be cool if I did that. Wow. Well, no, wait about what if I do that in? All right, that's going to do it. So
you're there pouring the whiskey. Pouring the whiskey on Wikipedia day, and he's like 2, 3. Let's call her 4 fingers and see what accomplishments I created today. No.
Cheers, Pepper and Maddie. Cheers to you, sir.
I'm glad we can have you out. What are we drinking? What do we got there today?
First off, DJ Sweat in the house. Thank you. This is a little Buffalo Trace that he sent me via my wife and daughter a few weeks ago. So this is coming. This is compliments of Columbus, Ohio. Thank you.
Yeah. So his wife Corey and his daughter Emerson, my niece, they were in town a week and a half ago. So I laced him up a little bit, sent a little something back for him. He didn't know it was coming. So we like to chop it up over a little bit of bourbon every now and then. We just had a couple of calls. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, talking about the upcoming vacation that we're taking out to see my nephew, my brother, my niece, and my I guess I'll call Corey my niece-in-law. How's that? Is that right?
Too formal.
Too formal.
You've known her for way too long. In fact, you met her prior to me ever meeting her.
I did. And actually, I set them up.
Know my wife longer than I have.
We're the reason. Me and Sherry and I are the reason they're married.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's a lie. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, technically, I don't want to take the listeners on a whole path here, but I mean, if we think about the amount of hours I spent on your couch during the breakups, yeah, you guys are probably responsible for this union that's worked out.
Oh my gosh! I see Casey has chimed in. Casey Hope, your sister-in-law, chimed in. Hey, Casey, thanks for coming in, girl.
That's my Taylor, like inside joke. So
and by the way, Tony, earlier
that's the last I'll give you on that one.
Earlier, your boy Michael Johnson, he hit us up. He might want to come on the show at some point in time, so he might be listening right now. So give Mike Johnson a shout out.
I mean, how timely! What a pleasant surprise. So I was driving so I live in Los Angeles now. This is how we can incorporate the bio, right? So I live in Los Angeles.
I was just going to ask that. We got an 8 states and 12 years situation going on here.
Like I don't know.
Take us on this journey.
I don't know if I should be proud of that or ashamed of that. What does that say? What's that say? Like, what does that really say? Does that say?
You got to find the right one.
Or does that say this guy kind of doesn't know what he wants to do with his life? I don't know. Somewhere in between.
Fake it till you make it.
Well, still doing
Bingo.
that. Hey-o, there you go. No, so I was speaking of Mike Johnson. I was driving to an appointment this morning across town at USC in the lovely LA traffic. It took me about an hour to go 14 miles. Not a problem.
My.
But during that time frame, I was actually listening to a song. I was listening to the radio, and a song came on from Mike Johnson and I's college years. And so, of course, I call him right away, and we chopped it up for a good 30-35 minutes to where I was late walking into my meeting. That's how important he is to me. So if Michael's on here, thank you, Mike. Thank you for the support.
Hey, Matt. One thing I want to tell you is. Tony he gets the lock side for sure. He gets it honest because he is a talker. And you better believe that he married a talker. Her dad's a talker. They are talkers. So this should be a very good show. Hey, cousin Ron, my cousin Ron.
Shout out to AZ.
Look at you.
Ron Lock in the house. Loving it.
So the locks are out in full force today. Is that what we're saying?
I mean, you put lock it down. I mean, what would you expect? That's
come on, bro.
That's kind of what we do.
Come on, bro.
So intentionally put those colors down there, the scarlet, not so gray kind of thing going on. You played at OSU. What position did you play? What was your time like there at OSU?
Probably the lessons that I learned through that experience, probably some of the biggest lessons that I've ever learned in my entire life that I continue to implement in everything I do today. And I say that, I know that sounds a bit cliche, but more specifically, I know, we were kind of joking around about some of my credentials leading in. If I were to give you one word to sum up what I've been able to accomplish, if you will, this thus far, it's overachiever for sure. I think what Albert Einstein says, I have no special talents. I'm only passionately curious. I would say that I have no special talents. I just have a high give a fuck level. When there's something that I really want to do, I kind of lock in. See what I did?
I like that. Very nice.
Yep. And I go after it. So to give you the Ohio State experience, I had a nice strong run at the Urbana High School in 3 sports, but I wasn't wildly recruited. I was definitely a better scholar than I was an athlete, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't a good athlete. What it was is I was, when I graduated high school, I was 145 pounds, 5'9", ran probably my fastest day, maybe a 4.6 hand time, which isn't going to put you on Ohio State's radar. But I could play the game. I could play through all the sports I played. I knew how to play the game very well. And so one thing that I did maybe subconsciously at that point is when I did get the academic scholarship to Ohio State, I put on, I've been a big fan of writing down my goals probably since I was 10 years old. And literally I found something from like 13 that like has everything that like, I said I wanted to do when I grow up. Nonetheless, so when I went to like Ohio State, I said like, look, I'm going to play on this team. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find a way. And I think the first thing I did, again, subconsciously, I networked with the right people. There are a few scholarship guys that we just took a liking to each other. And by doing that, I learned what's really needed to get there. Like I'm 145 pounds, I'm running a 4.6. That ain't getting me on the field. So what a lot of people don't know, freshman year, so every year they have walk-on tryouts if you're not an invited walk-on in January of your freshman year. So 96 was my first year there. We won the Rose Bowl against Arizona State. I was not on the team, but all of my friends who were redshirt were, and I would work out with them in their spare time at the French Fieldhouse, learning tips, tricks, techniques, things of that nature, running stadium steps, everything, getting myself ready. Well, I was a late bloomer. I gained 20 pounds during that time frame. And so I really wish they would have held me back a year, then maybe I would have been recruited. I gained 20 pounds and dropped my 40 by like maybe a 10th, right? And I went out for the team in January with the tutelage of all my boys around me. Shout out to Jerry Westbrooks, Clinton Wayne. And it just didn't happen. There's a list that's posted after the work, like a week after the workout. It's literally like the movies, right? You go, there's about 80 people to this cattle call at the Woody Hayes facility. We run 40s, we do agility drills, bench press, catch balls, all of that. And then there's like a list of outside the locker room a week later of the 10 to 15 people that they're going to bring in their winter ball. And it didn't happen. And for me, that was one of the reason why I say like the lessons I've learned in resilience, that was one of the first biggest failures of my life. Like I publicized that I was going to walk on the team. And so I had a lot of that pressure, family, friends, what have you, haters, of course, that are like, yeah, there's no way you're going to make it. I knew, like, I don't even know why he's doing that. Just stick to academics. So it was a big, big blow. And I was lightweight depressed that winter quarter. But at the tender age of 18, I don't know, there was something inside me. I couldn't articulate. I can articulate it now, but then it was just like, no, you know what? I'm gonna pick myself up, dust myself off, and I'm going at this thing. Like I think where I gained a little bit of, and please feel free to interject because I can go on a tangent.
Please, by all means.
I think where I started to gain some confidence that like, wait, like I have the athletic ability to do this is we played a lot of pickup basketball with the football team at Jesse Owens. And for those who are familiar with the Ohio State campus and the old Larkins, which I believe is now called RPAC. And as I was, again, growing, because I was a late bloomer, now we're talking like winter of 97. And I put on like 25 pounds and I'm a little faster, I'm a little stronger. And I'm killing these guys. I'm like, like there's like I have the ability to play, or plus I have the encouragement of my network, like the guys that were on the team. So I was like, you know what, like I got a year to run at this thing. So I did that. I went hard for the next year. So here we go. Now we're at the workouts in January of 1998. Sounds so long ago.
I don't want to date you guys at all, but 1998. I was 6 years old. I I was thinking about which crayon color I was going to eat probably if I had to guess.
Look, for the pop culture fans out there, for that one, like I think "Bye Bye Bye" was the #1 song by NSYNC.
That's my generation, baby.
We need to bring all this together. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think Friends may have been the #1 television show. Will and Grace was up and coming. Yeah, this is 98. Right. This is 98, guys. So all that said, I was able to I gained confidence from just the networking and then playing to pick up basketball. So now here we are at my second opportunity to make this team, and I at this point am at now I've gained 30 pounds. I know I'm faster. I go out, I run a 40, and I run one of the fastest 40s there. Still not super fast, but like electronically for Ohio State at the time I think it was like a low 4.6, which hand times maybe a 4.4, right? So a week later, the list is posted and my name's on that list. And that's when I think when I talk about like lessons that I learned that I continue to apply today, that showed me that whole arduous process that no matter what, like if you truly want something, Tony, if you truly want something, you'll find a way, you'll figure out a way. And that story has continued throughout my life. Like my first medical device job, like I bombed the interview and didn't get the offer, like probably I think for the first 2 times, and then boom, like figured out how to master that part of it. 3 months later, on like Arena Football League, been released from teams, and then come back and led the league in receiving. I mean, it's just I've had a lot of I won't call it failure. I would say opportunities for growth that I actually that's how I internalized it and see it. And it's worked out for me.
And I can tell you, there's been a lot of conversations through all of that with me and Tony, with his grandmother, with the whole family. There's been a lot of conversation that went on through that. Should I not continue to try to do this? Should I not go this route? And it was just one of those things where he had that stick-to-itiveness. This is a kid.
Did you just make up? Hold on a second.
No,
stick-to-itiveness.
Stick-to-itiveness.
If it's not in Webster's, it's definitely in the Urban Dictionary. I saw it.
Right. It's there. It's there. It's there. So he had the stick-to-itiveness. I mean, this is a kid. Trust me, Matt. This is a kid who, coming up, he would dress up in his football uniform. And we're talking about 6, 7, 8 years old, 5 years old. Nobody else in the neighborhood to play with. Uncle Ricky's out drinking or hanging out with his friends, or Uncle Ricky's in the military, whatever it is, wherever Uncle Ricky is. This kid is in the front yard of my mother's yard. He throws the football to himself, catches it, tackles himself into the bushes. This is a daily routine in the summer for this guy. Yeah. Oh, there's cheers. There's everything going on, So something was bound to happen. And by the way, I just want to say, this is Tony Anthony Locke, but we've always called him Boo. Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Well, if you're going to go there, like, don't shorten it. It's actually Boo Boo. So
I know I didn't want to do that because of the dog situation,
and that's okay. That's okay. But you know what Uncle Ricky highlighted there was, like, I always knew that if football didn't work out, I was going to be one hell of a commentator, because I provided the commentary for all of my individual football, basketball, baseball game.
It was amazing to watch. Mm-hmm. It was just amazing to watch him out there. And me and my friends sitting on the porch watching him, sitting there drinking, we're like, boy, this boy is crazy as hell. What is he doing? What the hell is he doing? By the way, one of the friends that was sitting there watching him also played for Ohio State. Greg Rogan, shout out to G Gizmo. He played for Ohio State as well, from Urbana, Ohio. But we were all in amazement at Tony. So, and then just to look at his academics and know how he was doing in school, I knew this kid was going to be something else. And of course, I have digressed. But Matt, go ahead. You take over.
So I never had the opportunity of playing football. I wish I had. I grew up playing baseball. I got the old stitches on the arm. I got the in life and baseball stay fair. It's funny because there's a whole different mentality. Whereas in football, it does take a team. Whereas if you have a dominant pitcher, if you can get one run, if you have a dominant pitcher, you're golden. Or if you have one kid who's gonna hit you a home run every game or something like that. So it's different because there's so many different individuals when it talks about in comparison from baseball to football. My mentality was this: you're gonna tell me I can't? Watch me. Like I pitchers, it pays to be tall, pays to be left-handed. I didn't have either of those things. I'm average height kid, right-handed, and I happened to just fit into the rotation. Granted, I played at a small D2 college. I wasn't walking on at Ohio State or anything like that. However, I had a coach who basically flat out told me, there's going to be maybe one or two of you that play in college. And I knew who he was referring to, and it was not me in that situation.
I'm only laughing because I've been on the other side of that as well, where I'm like, F you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the motivation, actually. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I was one of those guys that always had to play with a chip on my shoulder. And it sounds like you took the healthier route. You set the goal, you met the goal. Somebody else set the goal for me, and I was like, listen here, you dickhead. You told me I couldn't do it. That's the reason I'm going to do it. And with that being said, even with this podcast, we're not big time by any stretch of the imagination. But Rod's wife works at a chiropractic office. And so they're very familiar with the bosses. They've basically been with that chiropractic office ever since it started opening up and everything. So they know the boss really well, the guy who owns it. And the guy who owns it flat out told us, like, I'll buy you guys a bottle of tequila right now if you stop, because this thing's not going to succeed. So I have been day and night thinking about this thing because I'm so pissed off about what this guy said. And whether our content is fantastic, one way or another, I'm going to find a niche to make this thing successful and show up with a nice bottle of whatever the most expensive Don Julio is, right, and just go ahead and place it right on that man's desk. And
well, I certainly hope that was fodder from him for you to kind of push you and give you some motivation. I don't know this man, so I'm only hoping he was doing that to push you. Not so much. I don't
know. Business owners,
you know me. I always try to put a positive spin on shit. So that's all I was trying to do.
Look, I don't know. Like, as you're telling this story, I think it's amazing because I gave you the PG version of my motivation. Like, there's some dark side. But the way I picture you, Peppermint,
Michael Jordan.
I was going to say more so like Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison. He's crossing out people. He's going to.
Damn.
I mean, that's maybe I just fossil dated myself. Maybe you don't know that movie. They're Peppermint Patty.
I tell you what, you're with the right person because Matt knows this shit.
That he had a list of people he was that wronged him. That he was going to off. So,
no. Hold on. You come on. I'm a movie guy. Glad I called that guy.
There you go.
See what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Well played, sir. Well played.
And listen, so I told you, Matt, I didn't give you a lot of, okay, I lied. I gave you a lot of background on Tony. Tony's bio that he sent in reads for itself. But I didn't actually get a chance to tell you how personable he is, how well read he is. This is a guy who, on his bio, what did he say about his books, Matt? He buys doubles of
double purchase books.
Come on. Let me explain that.
Come on.
So
I was very confused by this. I'm glad we're clearing this up.
The reason why I threw that question out there, I'm a big fan of podcasts. So the other thing I was going to tell you, I'm contracting with you now. When this blows up, because it will, I am requesting that I will be a recurring guest because I like this. I like this forum. Absolutely. I like this forum, and there's a good synergy here. So from Tim Ferriss is probably my favorite guy that I follow from a podcast perspective. And one of the questions he asks all his guests is like, what's a new or unusual, absurd habit that you have? And for me, like, I was just like, I was listening to one of his podcasts a couple weeks ago, and I was like, what is my latest? What's weird? Because I'm a weird dude. I'm weird. I'm like, what's my latest thing that would be that's PG that I can share with folks? So this is a shareable, absurd thing.
Okay.
I have now, like, I do like to read, and as here in my office, like, I have so I have a lot of books that I have read, and what I do to flex sometimes on all these Zoom calls, I'll spin the camera around when I'm on with certain customers if I'm taking it from the office, so they can see, that African American guy right there, he's read a book before. He's not just a former athlete. So I say all that to say, but what I used to be a page turner, but I've now shifted to Kindle. It's just much more convenient. Like I can read like anywhere, right? Like if I got 20 minutes, like, pull this out, knock this book out. So for my own ego, what I was saying is like what I do now is, so I'll buy a book on Kindle, then I buy the hard copy so I can put it in my library to look smart. It's all just to look smart. Look.
That explains it though.
Look, half of the reason why I'm driven is because I'm insecure, and there's an insecurity.
At least you have books on your shelf. I have turned my shelf into a bourbon shelf. I don't know if you can see it or not. That's bourbons now. Here,
I'll give you the 360 here. Like this is I'll turn like the camera sometimes and have the desk set here. Can you guys see my desk?
That's brilliant.
Right?
That's brilliant.
And there's
what? So for you guys, like for me, it's movie. I got like I see what you do. I have a ton of digital downloads too, so that's like not even scratching the surface in terms of what I have in movies. But I am a huge cinematic media consumer. It's outrageous, like, and especially in the world, we hit the pandemic and we had nothing but the ability to consume all of this media, whether it was TV shows or movies and things like that. So with that turn, let's talk about this. You were on the set of Invincible. Is that correct?
You got to give me more credit than just being on the set. Your boys
are body double. Wait.
I got man, we gotta go one more step further than that, bro.
Okay.
Like my body did get doubled with the amazing shots I took from Mark and his stunt doubles. It was like 70 takes in 3 days.
Let's talk about
like how you guys want to know how it all came to fruition. Like you tell me tell me where you want. What do you want your listeners to hear?
Before we get into the body double part of it, correct me if I'm wrong.
I wasn't a goddamn body double. I was a character, man. Stop saying that.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You need to talk to your promoter because.
Well, wait a minute.
He said body double.
You did have a speaking part. You had some lines, dialogue as Ray Rhodes, right? Am I correct?
Look, man, Peppermint Patty, you should know, being a movie buff, that they shoot. I could kind of say we shoot. That's a little flex there. We shoot. No, they shoot.
Card, you have your snag.
Hours and hours of footage, and only an hour and 20 minutes makes it to past the cutting room floor. So unfortunately, again, back to the theme. I think this all ties in. Another time where I had some sort of setback or failure. There you go. No, but here's what it was. When I was playing in the Arena League for the Los Angeles Avengers, and living here in LA, here we go. Here's less than 7 degrees of separation. Kevin Bacon story here. My agent, my football agent was also a marketing agent, and his wife's sister. No, wait. Let me get this right. That's what it is. His wife's cousin.
You can make it up. The people ain't gonna know a fucking thing, man. You just tell us
right there.
That girl right there. Andre Agassi's something, whatever. So like this guy was in he brought me into the circle, right? So in the off season, the plan was, hey, like, look, are you interested in acting? That's like, I've never done it before, never thought about it, not really a thespian. And I mean, my only experience in high school, I was in the high school play just to hang out with girls, didn't really do much in it. He said, so, okay, well, like, you seem a little bit charismatic. I'll throw you out here on some auditions. So here's my first Hollywood lesson I learned. He puts me in touch with the lady who ran sitcoms for the NBC studios back in 2005. I can't remember her name for the life of me, but I remember like I had this big meeting. I go out there, I'm dressed to the nines, I'm ready to go. I'm like, man, this is Entourage, man. I'm here, I've arrived. I'm out there at the studios. I walk in and she sits, and just like in the scenes from Entourage, like if we go back into like her office, she's got all these movie trailers and TV show trailers set up everywhere. So I'm like, okay, it's prime time.
There's those fucking glasses.
So she sits me on her couch and she's like, so tell me about all the locker room situations you've been in and everything with professional football. I'm just like, I'm intrigued. I'm so intrigued. And I'm sitting here giving this lady gold. Like when I say gold, I mean literally cash. This is what I learned later. I'm just going on about like stuff I've seen at Ohio State, stuff I've been a part of, stuff in the Arena League, stuff when I've had my workouts in the NFL, and just giving her everything. Never calls me back. A year later, there's a show that she produced called The Game, and it had a lot of my storylines that I told her.
Are you serious?
Oh, that's real talk.
I didn't know that.
I'm like, okay, Hollywood lesson number 1 learned. Yeah, don't give up information without a contract. Yeah. So where I was going with that? Go ahead.
And it's sadly that's what and that's why I don't think there's no opt-ins for me in the movie industry, but I don't think I could do it.
Wait a minute, I disagree. Have you seen the show American Gods?
No, I haven't. What are you getting at, though?
What? Wait.
He's going to say something about gingers or shit. I know it. Here it comes.
There is a character that you most certainly could have played. I want you to watch the show at least. I think you have to get into 3 or 4 episodes before this character arrives. And you'll see that you'll understand what I'm saying, that I feel that you could have played that part. You're very charismatic. You're very talkative. You've got a good look about yourself. Hey, let me see that hat. Let me see the hair right now.
Hey, what are you doing to me right now? Are you trying to make my head all big and shit? No, it's a little plastic.
Hey, Peppermint Patty, this reminds me of my meeting that I just described. Be careful. He's asking. He's going to come out of you. I felt this is exactly where we were going.
You feel like I'm setting him up?
This is going to be Ginger Gods coming out on ABC next year.
Right. So just watch the show and then get back with me. Moving. Okay, we can move.
By the way, Peaky Blinders, phenomenal so far.
Yeah.
I'm on season 2.
By the way,
I've yet to
shows right now.
Do it.
Since we are 2020 was an absolute shit show.
What happened?
Netflix.
Oh.
You didn't hear?
Oh.
You didn't hear?
Nah,
so
bro.
that was shit show. So Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, all of those streaming services really got us through. But when you look back on it, I guarantee you when you look back on it, when they start having these big movie productions, you'll realize that a lot of the shit we were consuming on those streaming services was just that shit. Not only
it's
that,
fucking awful.
Not only that, how many shows are on there that are from other countries and different languages? I mean,
first off, to your point, don't trust Netflix number one because they have this Spanish number one like week after week. So my wife and I are like, all right, fuck it, like we're gonna dive in, man.
Right.
After about 3 subtitles, we aborted. So wait, am I allowed to? I'm sorry. Should I watch my language?
No, let it fly, man.
Yeah, hell yes.
Well played, Maddie. Again, there you go. Peppermint Maddie. He quick, man. He's quick.
He is. He's good. He's good. I told you.
Listen. So let's not forget that we kicked this entire pandemic off with Tiger King. Tiger King was like the show that came out when the pandemic started.
All right.
And I remember where I was. My Uncle Ricky put me onto that, and now I have a soft spot for Joe. You got old girl out here dancing with the stars, and my guy's locked up. Carol Bassett, hound.
Carol Bassett.
She out here killing folks. We know she killed her husband, and she dancing with the stars.
Right.
Some bullshit.
How the hell does that happen?
That's some bullshit. And
well, here's why. Because she came out and she said, "Hey, all." What did she say? "Hey, all you cool cats and kittens," and everybody thought she was innocent right out of the gate. And it was like, not a fucking chance. I know you did shit. How many husbands disappeared?
You do know that 3 weeks to a month ago, somebody got one of her trainers got mauled or either killed. Right? Am I right about that?
But can we all agree that menageries aren't safe? Can we agree with that? Like this is probably not the right move. And it's kind of fucked up for those animals, man. Like they're living in squalor.
So listen, we're going off on a lot of tangents. I'm gonna let Matt get back to some questions that he had. Some of his questions. So let's move forward.
Well, okay. And actually, fantastic segue, really, because so you were given a very short list of questions because we had a lot to talk about in terms of what you're capable of doing. Something I want to revisit, by the way. You're going to be a recurring guest. I hope you know that. So we'll certainly make that happen. But we're talking about these lions, these tigers, these bears.
Oh my!
Shit, my arm got ripped off. Very good. So my question to you actually is: if you could communicate with animals, what would you do for a living?
Look, we live in a capitalist society, and I have a capitalist mindset. So
cash cow, baby.
First and foremost,
cash cow. I get it.
I see what you did. I see what you did there. I would run the biggest monopoly veterinary clinic business of all. If I know what's wrong with an animal because I can talk to them, I'm solving everybody. Think about this. People care more about their animals than they do their kids. So think about the investment they're going to bring to me if I'm able to keep their animals alive or be able to prevent disease prior to extend their life. Oh. Yes, veterinary businessman.
Oh, so you're going straight Dr. Doolittle is what we're doing here.
Nice.
To the next Eddie Murphy level.
Okay,
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
You guys, this is my Eddie laugh.
Hold on.
That was a bad Eddie impersonation, but yeah.
Do it again, one more time. One more time.
No, can't.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying I've heard better. That's all I'm.
It was awful. But you know what's good though? If we're talking bad, can I tell you what's good? My Aunt Sherry, my Uncle Ricky's better half, like she got some zingers. Look at her just coming in, chiming in on the board.
I'm telling you, she's
good. That girl good.
She's killing it. Her and your dad are killing it. Mike Steele is on it.
So
and I can hear her downstairs giggling right now.
So here's the thing. We had a lot of fun. Now, to me, this is also Uncle Rick and Aunt Sherry to me as well. Throughout the years that we've known each other, they've become family to us. And we discussed last episode that Mr. DJ Sweat was on, that he's getting his cheeks beat in there by Aunt Sherry because she's got all these karate trophies and shit up on his bourbon. She said, okay, you can have a bourbon shelf, but on the very tippy top of that bourbon shelf is going to be my karate trophies, you motherfucker.
Y'all see that? You'll see that on the top, very top? That's her shit. I got shit that I ran track for in high school. I got other shit. The police academy shit. I was top of the class in the police academy. My shit is in a blue tub down. By the way, y'all, I know y'all like this fan. It's this hot as balls up here in my man. I don't know, man cave, I guess, upstairs. But
you still see you. That's
man
the
loft.
thing.
You have a man loft. I love it. But can I to add to that point? Like, first off, Aunt Sherry's maiden name is Brown, so I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
No one in Urbana would fuck with Sherry Brown because they knew she was a black belt. No. Oh, Sherry Brown? You talking about Sherry Brown? Nah.
On top of that, her brother Keith was a sensei. He owned the studio where they trained at. I mean,
can we pull on that thread for 1 second, just in a jovial way? Like, what the fuck's a sensei for real? I used to be afraid of senseis because I never did karate. Like, what's a sensei really do?
A sensei is what we call your teacher. It's just another word for teacher, maestro. You're professional. He's the guy.
A life lessoner.
He's the guy who can kick everybody in the room and get away with it, no matter how old you are. 2-year-old come in there, take class. He's instructing. So he's a 2-year-old. And the parents would be like, get your little punk ass up. That's the sensei.
Hey, the sensei said. Sensei said.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen.
That's why I don't fuck with her. Maybe
a little late in my lifetime, but sensei is definitely a career path I should have pursued. Because if I'm out here and you just turn that shit into a lesson. All right, son, now you fall down 7 times, you get up 8, okay? But you're gonna catch a whooping on the way down. That's how it's gonna happen. Because you were talking shit throughout the entire class. You were the one mouthing off, and guess what? Now you're gonna get it.
This is a great segue. Matt, what has happened with you where you really, really had something that set you back and you just had to pull yourself up and get up and do it again?
Ooh, that I took a beating. I took a good beating on.
Tony, think about this. This question goes to you as well.
I think so. My father has always been a very humbling man, if you will. And by that, I mean, he's going to tell you if you stink. If you're doing a shit job, he will, in fact, let you know. So I don't know that I necessarily had to. Yeah, this is exactly. Okay, we're on the same page. This is what I was referring to. There was this game. I played in a wood bat league after my college career, if you'll call it. So I played in an adult league, a wood bat league, and we played in Toledo. Most of our home games were in Toledo. We were based out of Findlay. It was a hike to even get there in the first place. My parents decide one day to drive up, and they're from Central Ohio, Columbus area, suburb of Columbus. And
by way of Chicago,
if you will. That's We're by the way, we're Bears fans. We can talk about that later. So they come up to visit. It's a 2-hour drive. It's a 2-hour drive from that for them. They come up, they watch me play a game, and let's just say not my best performance as a pitcher. We're going out to dinner after the game, and the old man says to me, he's like, "Fuck, we drove all the way up here for that. We drove all the way up there for that." Very sincerely, not in a joking manner, like a "thanks for wasting my fucking day, kid" kind of mentality. And that was a real eye opener for me because
wow.
And here's the pick yourself back up mentality is family's going to be there for you. That's great. But the honesty that I was given taught me a huge lesson that it's not all sunshine and roses, that you got to take a beating. This is the problem. We can go on a huge tangent with this. This is the problem with the participation trophies now is you're never going to have that drive to get better. You talk about you were this kid, you were a $145, you're running a 4.6, and you know mentally that that's not going to get me where I want to be. So you set a goal. Now, if you're just handed trophy after trophy after trophy after trophy, even in that same $145 running a 4.6, if you're in your head, even if you know that's not the case, that mind gets pushed, or that thought process gets pushed to the back, because now it's like, hey, look at this. I got this nice shiny trophy because I showed up for practice. I showed up for all the games. That's fantastic. And then you go to try out for one of them teams, you take an absolute beating from one of those coaches. Like, son, hang it up, because you got a ton of work. There's mountains ahead of you to get to where we want you to be. If you can learn that lesson early on, that's the thing. Get knocked down, get back up. I wish I had learned that. Not that the old man wasn't dishing out those lessons early on in my life, but that particular one was a standout, because that was at that point in my life where it's like, you don't see your parents every day. They live an hour and a half away, whatever. You see them once a month, once every other month or so. Okay, they come up, they do something nice to come see a game, and then to catch that shit, it was like, all right, Pops, good to see you. See you in 2 months when we talk about this again, because that's all I'm going to think about as I'm going to work the next 30-something days. That would probably be the moment for me if I had to guess, yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You went to Tiffin, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So Tony, now once again, I'm going to ask you to correct me if I'm wrong. Tony, did you and I, early on, right after high school, did you and I take a trip to Tiffin, Heidelberg to visit? Do you remember that?
1995, November.
Yes.
It was cold as shit.
Yes.
It was directly after my football season. And, kind of going back to how, I was recruited by a few MAC schools, but mainly the Wittenbergs, Tiffins, Heidelberg, what's Kenyon College, they're purple and white. I remember their offer letter. And it's funny because when I was at Ohio State and I'm become friends with and in competition with some of these Blue Star athletes who I'm in the dorm and they're pulling out their shoe boxes of signed letters from Lou Holtz, Notre Dame, and Florida State, Bobby Bowden. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I got this little Kenyon joint right here. I mean, they want me to come. Hey. I was going to be the guy at Kenyon. They told me I could eat for free in the cafeteria 4 years straight, straight up. No, so I think it's, yeah, you're right, Uncle Ricky. We did that, and we actually went to Wittenberg as well.
Yeah.
So yep. you guys bring up a lot of points. It's just bringing me back. I really like this conversation. I probably have about 4 seminal moments that I can point to that really that I look back and they were life lessons. You know, the one I described to you guys first was like that, overcoming that barrier of not making it Ohio State, taking it, like, to your point, Mike, I'm sorry, Peppermint Maddie. If I was consoled after not making it the first year and given a trophy for going out for the team, I maybe I'd have been cool with that. Probably not, but that's just not how I'm wired. But that's what happens to these kids. They're soft with 3 teeth.
Yeah, they are. They're very soft.
Soft as cotton. So
in life,
I would say, and now I'm kind of coming in for a humble brag to set the record straight, because we left at me running a 4.6 at 145. I ended up so coming back to that. So I make the team, and then I ended up playing at 190, running a 4.3, and this is going somewhere. Less of the brag now. Was at the end of my senior year, after lettering 2 years, not getting a lot of action on the field at receiver, but a lot of action on special teams. I had the audacity, and I say that with air quotes, to think I could play professionally. But what my family and friends, like literally roommates and like close friends and family outside of Uncle Ricky and Aunt Sherry and my current wife, like I've been married several times, and my wife, what none of them could, they were very encouraging, but what none of them could see is when I was at the Woody Hayes facility practicing against 6 first-round defensive backs and them respecting the shit out of me and me beating them most days and we battling, and then Ahmed Plummer, who was the highest paid, he was a first-round pick. He was the highest paid defensive back, actually the highest paid defensive player in the NFL in '98. This was my seminal moment. He re-upped with the 49ers. And he came back home in the year that I took the MCAT to go to medical school, which my grandma, God rest her soul, owe her everything. Joan Elizabeth Locke. She looked at me and said, "Okay, boom, like you boo boo, you've had a nice run." That's her right there. Love it. It's like you said you wanted to play. We looking at your goals right now. You said you wanted to play at Ohio State. You did that. You said you wanted to play professional and you want to be a doctor. You've got an opportunity to go to medical school. Do that. And I knew deep down she said it out of love, not that because she didn't believe me, but what she didn't know was the highest paid player. I had just had a conversation with him. The highest paid player in the NFL, who I battled with at Ohio State for 2 years in practice every day, come back. We worked out that summer, and he's like, T-Lock, that's what they call me. T-Lock, yo, there's no reason you should not be starting in the NFL. Like, you're better than the receivers I'm going against. So when I hear that, it's like, wait, like, okay, let me reevaluate my situation. And you know, I went on, and that's when I was at that fork in the road, and I chose to pursue professional football. Now, it didn't come to fruition the way I envisioned, like, you know, playing 10 years in the league and retiring and all of that. That didn't work out, but I had one hell of a time in the Arena League. I surprised the shit out of myself with some of the things I continued. Another lesson here. You don't know what you have until you go all the way in. If I would have stopped, I would have never known that I could have the ability to run a 4.3. If I would have stopped, I would have never known that I had the ability to do some of the things I was able to do on the football field. So when I stopped playing, all of that is cataloged in my mind with this new venture, which is business. So I've got the same energy, the same spirit towards business. Like, look, I don't know anything about what I'm getting ready to get into, but I'll figure it out. And
so with that in mind, we've got a lot of parents out here who push their kids to sports, whatever that particular sport is. I'm listening to you, Maddie. I'm listening to you, Tony. I mean, how do you tell? Because your story's so great. This is something that I feel needs to be bottled and sent out into the world so that people understand what it takes to be great, or they understand that it is not as simply as being really good in high school. It's not simply being really good in college. How do you?
Yep. Can I just
go ahead?
I'm sorry to interject, but I want to make sure I make this point because this is where I was going with it. I'm a big fan of human psychology, and mainly has a lot to do with what I do for a living. But with that, it's everything we do. Every conversation we're in, no matter what you do. If you want to go buy a car, you want to go buy a shirt at the store, you want to go get a latte. You're interacting with humans. Present day. I don't know what it's going to look like 10 years from now. It could be robots. But right now, it's humans. And every situation you're in is a negotiation. It frames up your mental your awareness, and I think part of it's mental toughness, confidence, and all of that is wrapped into like every single interaction that you have. What I would say, like the difference between our two stories, is you had a dad, and I'm not saying one way is right or one's wrong, who had some sort of guardrails around your ambition. Because I was essentially the pioneer in my family to all of this. Like no one had played football, really. No one had gone to Ohio State and played. So everything that I want to do, it's like, thank God it was like, okay, like, let's see. I didn't have someone telling me, you know what? Okay, you've had enough. Like, no, maybe not. And I think if I did, maybe things could have turned out differently. Maybe I would have made decisions and changed paths earlier. But thank God I didn't.
What I always say when people say that is that it could have been the opposite way too, you know?
I do have to say this. God bless this woman that just came in and 1 second and literally dropped off a latte for me because I texted her. I do not deserve this woman. Shout out to her. She is mistakenly marrying me in the coming months in November.
Which, by the way, Tony, I don't know if you know, I didn't give you a lead into this. Sherry and I are DJing Peppermint Maddie's wedding. Maddie and Megan, we're doing their wedding. Very, very honored and proud to be a part of it, and so honored that you asked us. So, congratulations to you.
That's amazing, man.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Jokes on her. She gets this for the rest of her life, and I get more than I deserve. So,
Matt.
Don't we all? You're talking to two other guys.
Right. Sherry has not come upstairs with Ice Cube or another beer. It stops, bro. It stops. It's
off. You can DJ for us. It just won't be no.
So what is our next question on the list here? We have some good stuff coming up here. We were looking at a few questions, and we've got Tony. You got plenty of time, right, Tony?
Time. There's never enough time. That's a Jesse Spano.
Right.
For your Saved by the Bell fans out there. No, I'm good.
So we have to make sure we extend this out because we have Tommy who thinks he can at some point in time beat our show time, our episode time. But what he doesn't understand is I knew that this show was going to be very epic. I knew that we'd have a lot to talk about. I knew we'd be jumping around a lot because with Matt, with you, and with myself, we've all experienced a lot of different things in life. We've done a lot of things in life. Tony, you just said how many cities you've lived in the last 10 or 12 years. Is that correct? How many cities was it?
It's
I got that.
It's 8.
It's 8 and 12.
8 and 12.
8 and 12 years. 8 and 12 years. So, I mean, you've got a lot of knowledge about how not to choose 2 men in a truck or a movie company. Why'd you give me that side eye? Why'd you side eye?
All I'm saying, I think now that I take a step back and think about that says more about my wife than it does about me. Like I have someone that loves me. And you do as well. Perfect timing. Ding, 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 ding. Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Ice cubes.
There you go.
Chicken wings. What?
Oh wow. Okay, Peppermint Maddie, you got one up.
And a dog here following.
I can tell y'all, don't wait for anything on this side. That is not happening. The moves were enough. The fact that she's moved with me without question.
Right.
Like she's a ride or die. She's amazing.
Hey, you look like an ass now, don't you? She pulled that stunt on you to make you look like an absolute fool, and it's working.
And she's got a black belt.
Yeah. What all of us didn't see or hear was her whispering, "You pull a fucking stunt like that again, boy, I tell you what."
Right, well, that's exactly what happened.
She said in my ear when she dropped it off. When she kissed, you said it over here and continued over here when she kissed me on this side. She ain't slick at all.
If I know my dear aunt, that is exactly what was exchanged.
That's what went down. That's what went down.
Oh, all right. So let me ask, and this is good, especially for you, Rick. See, I don't know. I can't refer to you as anything but DJ Sweat anymore. But
so good. That's all good. It's all good. That's my hype man right down there. That's my hype man in the clubs back in the day.
Yeah, I'm a man that wears many hats. I'll say that.
So you're so entrenched in music. Let me ask this question, starting with you, Mr. DJ Sweat. If you could have a theme song, what would it be? What's your theme song? Is it Summertime?
Oh, son of a bitch.
I'm not. Listen, I ain't gonna get any further than that. But
oh, you son of a bitch! My shit would be closing time, because when I'm done DJing at every freaking party, by the time I'm done, there's so many drunks that have gotten on my nerves all night and all day long. I just want it to be over. So my theme song would be Closing Time. I'm always ready for it to be over. But on a positive spin, I would have to say, honestly, because I am all about family. I love my family and my extended family. I'm going to go with the old 70s. We Are Family, Sister Sledge. I know it's very cliche, but it really is. That's what we're all about. We're all about family and togetherness, which is why I also said again, Matt, that I appreciate you hiring us to be your DJs for your wedding, because it's family, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Shit ain't free though.
Absolutely. Don't I know it? You charge me double. Isn't that bullshit?
Yeah.
Well, I know. Hey, I know Kathy and Mike are paying for it, so I don't give a shit. Mike's got deep pockets.
Doesn't he though?
Yeah.
And guess what?
Guess
what? He won't pay for anything for the podcast. Isn't that some bullshit or what?
That's some bullshit. I swear he bought some microphones or some shit.
Look, I love your shameless plug with fundraising. In fact, like, that's when I was sitting in the back room, I heard you guys going on a spill with how you were trying to raise some money in a very passive aggressive way. Okay, yeah, I hear you. So y'all need some dough.
There's some traveling mics that we need. There's some other things that we need.
Okay.
We need.
Let's start itemizing it. Maybe you get some donations.
Okay. All right.
Actually, I did get some traveling equipment just today, so I don't know what I'm going to exactly refer to. That's a clean look. I don't know exactly what it's going to be referred to yet. However, Rod and I on weekends are going to start working together a little bit. So, Idiots on a Truck, we might chime in a few Idiots in a Truck episodes, just because we got to drive down to Cincinnati and back together. So we might be doing some mobile recording on those days. It's not going to be live like this setup is. However, some additional content, which while we're doing shameless plugs, we're not available just on live. I got a plug for everything, man. Don't you worry. We're not just available on live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We run on Twitch as well. We don't get a ton of interaction on Twitch, but we just like to offer it up there. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. When we kicked this thing off, we were a audio only podcast. So wherever normal people listen to their podcasts, that's kind of our motto here at Idiots on a Mic. It's not exactly a business, but we call it, when we refer to it here at Idiots on a Mic, like it's Idiots on a Mic LLC, Idiots on a Mic Inc., Idiots on a Mic.
Right.
We're
not necessarily a business, but we can be.
For the right price.
Right. For the right price. Exactly.
But we're available on all the So do you travel a lot for work? Do you
pre-pandemic, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I got you. See, me personally, I travel a lot for work. I know on occasion DJ Sweat in the house travels when he needs to take pictures of himself working, so people know that he actually does shit.
Hey,
he'll go out every now and then.
I have put in my time. I have traveled halfway around the world, 13 and a half years. I've done my time.
So we've been given permission. You heard it here, folks. The bachelor party money that was given to us, we're able to spend that on the podcast. So we'll be able to do that.
I like Ursula's suggestion. So where's that taking place and when?
Right?
Yeah. We're going somewhere remote. We're getting a cabin. We're sucking down as many cheap beers as we possibly can. That's what we do here. We're still, and this is going to be a beautiful transition once we do our marathon episode. If we want to talk about that shameless marketing we've been talking about.
Let's go ahead and talk about that. Because I believe we have a talker.
1 second.
Who can be on
I'm coming right back. You guys keep it going.
I believe we have a talker who can be on that show. If we do 24 hours, whatever it is, we've got the guy right there.
I think you're right. I think him, Tommy, we got to plug Tommy. Tommy's a massive supporter of the show too. And
yeah.
It's a sales mentality. I know y'all got this sales mentalities going on. It is what it is.
Little do you know, I've watched you interact with customers and I've watched you interact within the office. You have a sales mentality as well. Don't come gunning for my fucking job though, but you have a sales mentality. So
I heard the Midwest region's up in air. We'll
right. But yeah, you've got a sales mentality.
But here's the difference. When it comes to negotiating, I'm such a pushover. If it's like, well, let's hammer out the details and all that, I'm like, whatever you fucking want, man. It's yours. I don't know.
Not when it's tied into your commission and your paycheck. Things change real quick. Trust me. I had to learn that myself.
That's probably true. I haven't been in a situation where that's ever the case yet.
Right. And me being the eldest of Tony and I by 12 years, this is one of the lessons that I learned from Tony was about sales and not being afraid to go into something different in my life when I did that. Tony and I, to be honest, I might tear up a little bit here, but we talk about everything. If there's big changes in life, if there's a job change, if there's a position change at your job, if there's opportunities, if there's a problem with your marriage, a problem with your child, we talk about everything. So in this aspect, I want to say this is one of the things that I learned from Tony is not to be afraid to take that challenge that you've never done before. You know, I didn't know anything about sales, to be honest with you. And still he's pushing me to say, you can still do better. You can still move forward in life, Uncle Ricky. You're not too old to move forward. So, that's one thing I will say. Don't give me that look, Matt. I'm not your dad's age. So, but so there is give and take in mine.
He's in bed. That's why you said that. You knew he was in bed already. So
I know exactly. There is give and take in our relationship for sure.
Wow.
And I can respect that. And everybody's got to have that. Like in one way, shape, or form. If it's a family member, if it's a friend, if it's that dog sitting behind you, you got to have that in one one way, shape, or form. Apparently not in bed, by the way. So
not in bed. Not in bed.
You go ahead and eat that middle finger there, bud.
Not in bed.
But so pivoting back, way back to our previous question about the theme song, I think for me, it's gotta be. I don't know how familiar you guys are with Andy Grammer at all, but "Spotlight" by Andy Grammer, I think, is probably my song. And really, the premise of the song is if you can't make it. Now, granted, he's talking about being in the spotlight in general, but if you can't make it in something and you thrive off of it, and maybe you do get tired at some point, are you going to miss that once it's gone?
I love
that.
I love dogs, and I love inspirational songs.
I gotta say,
so that moment right there was like perfect for me. So thank you guys for sharing.
Matt, I gotta say, Bruno just took away from everything you just said because he's clowning right now. I appreciate. I'm not going to ask you to regurgitate it again, but Bruno just absolutely ruined it for me. I was dialed in. I was looking in your eyes, and I was trying to hear what you were saying about Andy Grammer. I heard Andy Grammer. So
I don't think he's related to Kelsey Grammer. I think his name is Andy Graham. But am I wrong? Was it Graham?
You know what? Touche for the DJ, right?
Touche for the DJ.
Ask him another question, Matt. He's an ass.
For the DJ. So I do have one question left for you guys, and this is going to be, we're going to tie this back because I'm a big Marvel guy. You played for the Avengers, so when I ask this question, this is the first thing that pops into my head is a Marvel character. If you could be a character from any movie, who would you be and why?
Wait, disclaimer. This guy does not watch superhero movies.
Thank you, Tony, for coming on. That was fantastic.
I was gonna gracefully bow out as the black man and say, "Can I say Black Panther?" Like, cause and I haven't even seen that. Like, that's what, like I just like look.
We can't both say it. We can't both.
Look, I would just be saying that to say it because I've never watched a Marvel comic, any superhero movie. But I thought he said any genre, right? Any genre?
Yes, any genre.
Well, first off, y'all didn't even let me come off with my song, but it's okay. Like, we can move on.
Wait. Hold on.
He said, "Oh, wait." Like he's not the one that changed the subject earlier.
Right. So I got two things for y'all. So go
ahead. Let's go.
From the song perspective. So
let's go.
I'll
be right back.
I thought the way you teed it up was like, what was the theme song for your house? Or yes. Then you asked again, what is the theme song? Excuse me, for yourself. So for myself, like it's more like serious. And to your point, very similar to you, it's all about motivation and dealing with these massive chips I have on my shoulders. Jay-Z, the Black Album, public service announcement. That song, when I hear that song, because like it, songs are nostalgic. And when that album was released, I was going through another one of those seminal moments, and I embodied every word in that song. And to this day, if I'm going into a major meeting to do what I do now, that's the song you'll hear in my car as I'm blasting, riding up. So that's public service announcement, 100%. Now, if we're talking about a theme song for the house, it's interesting. Another fun fact that my uncle may not even know. I love commercials randomly. I didn't really realize it until Peppermint Patty, you'll realize this. When you have a child, you'll realize how weird you are, because they'll start doing shit. They're like, where is that from? And then your spouse is like, that's you, motherfucker. Like, that's you all day.
Right.
So my daughter and I have this affinity for commercials, and it's, there's the what the fuck is it? It's the DoorDash commercial where the dude's just like the animation where the guy's like shaking his butt, like her and I always stop and we watch that. But the one that that's our theme song, that's our song right now, like the commercial that we both always stop and watch is that I think it's an insurance commercial. I don't know if it's Progressive or I think it's Allstate actually. I think
there's a lot of opportunity.
So it's Pep Shop Boys.
The
opportunity. The black dude is driving. It looks like to Vegas, like from our perspective, like it looks like
right.
The trip to Vegas. And you got the bronze, I've got the brains. Let's make some money. So the reason why that's the theme is we live in LA and it's fucking expensive out here. My wife has the brains, I have the brawn, and we're trying to make a lot of fucking money. So that's our theme song.
That's going to happen off of that child you have right now. She is going to be, if you stay out there, she's going to be an actress. She's going to be a TV producer. She's going to be something.
Guys, I'll stop you there. I've got one job. I got to keep her off that pole.
Keep her off the pole.
That's it. Like, if I do that, I'm winning. Like, I love your ambition around her, and I love it too. But and I believe in her, but got to keep her off the pole.
Keep her off.
Yeah, keep her off the pole.
You're right, Casey. She is sassy.
You're right, Aunt Casey, best friend. She is the sassiest. Appreciate that comment. So that's our theme song. And then next up, you asked what would be, remind me.
What would be your character? Who would you want to be in a movie?
So
Ray Rhodes.
Yeah, if the shit made it past the cutting room floor, I wouldn't be sitting here. No, I'm playing. I'd be on the Tonight Show after my third.
Right away.
This is the chip you wanted to see. King
Look, you got the chops
on me.
You got the chops, Denzel.
You got it. You got
the chops, Denzel.
So you know what it is. There's one movie
Pelican Bay. Sorry.
So there's one movie that comes on USA or whatever, like on the Loop, TBS, like on the weekends, and I'm not a big movie watcher, like over and over. I love movies, but I don't like to watch movies over and over. I have a short list of movies that I can watch over and over. Catch Me If You Can, Frank Abagnale, Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's a great movie.
The fact that it's based on a true story and the crazy shit that he did during that entire. I mean, this dude forged his way into law, doctor, everything in between. Like, I just think that's an amazing story. Like, he was so elusive. He eluded the FBI for years. And Tom Hanks is amazing. So I'd have loved to play opposite.
One of my faves.
There you go.
Denzel, Tom Hanks.
Catch Me If You Can. And honorable mention. Can I throw in an honorable mention, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hear it.
Every fucking movie that Ice Cube is in, he gets the girl and he's the hero. Like, it's kind of funny.
21 Jump Street, his daughter gets plowed by the.
Fair fucking point. Yeah, good point.
Because in a lot of those movies, he finds himself being the executive producer of some of that shit, you know? So if you're producing some of the shit,
any movie
Adam Sandler.
Did you just say Adam Sandler? Did you just say Adam Sandler?
One of the rich.
He is the most underrated, underrated movie people of our time. He's amazing.
No doubt. I agree.
Netflix 2020 brought that to my attention.
You know who else is underrated but gets a lot of Netflix and streaming movie play? Do you know who it is?
Hold on, let me guess. I like to guess stuff. So,
come on.
Underrated, a lot of Netflix. Not named Adam Sandler.
He's underrated for a reason though, because he's shit. Nicolas fucking Cage.
Oh, Nick Cage, man. Come on, man. Nick Cage.
I think he sold his soul to the devil. He sold his soul to the devil because he's in at least in 2020 in at least 7 movies in 2020. How are you making movies in 2020 during a pandemic without a fucking mask on, bitch?
Nick Cage.
Nick Cage.
Did you see that? Did you see the interview where he's talking about, I'm the one that sets the bar. The director doesn't tell me where the bar is at. I set the bar. And
I didn't see that. He's off the rails. He's a bit off the rails.
Yeah. He comes unglued a little bit during that interview.
If I could say anything about Nick Cage, it'd be boo, motherfucker, boo.
Hey, you know what I'll say though? Yeah, I'll say too. I can eat a peach for hours. He played that shit. He played that shit in Face Off, and Con Air. After that, everything was downhill.
Everything else was downhill.
Those are two best Nick Cage movies.
What are you talking about? After Con Air, he's stealing the Declaration of Independence and the fastest cars on the planet. What are you talking about?
You're right. You're exactly right. Yes.
Okay, so he took that momentum and he ran for a bit.
Yeah,
that's where it all stopped. That's where it stopped.
When Ghost Rider came out, that was the decline. It was all downhill from there. Yeah.
No. Was Nicolas Cage in Face Off?
Yeah, I can eat a peach for hours. He and John Travolta.
I caught up. I caught up now. I caught up.
God damn, man. You got slow internet there or what? What's going on?
Hey, you're just lucky your shit hasn't timed out yet today.
I know. So the Wi-Fi extender working phenomenally this episode. Typically it is laboring and we have some issues.
Shout out to Google Mesh. I need my next extender free.
I wasn't gonna do it, but
Rod's the common denominator when this shit happens. He's always on.
Now so let's talk about that. So we haven't actually had an opportunity to bash Rod. Tony, you're not familiar with our typical co-host who is on with us, the guy who helped me found Idiots on a Mic, if you will. Rod Daddy, as he likes to refer to himself. Rod Daddy from Cincinnati. Nobody's ever called him that. However, that's the nickname he has claimed. Now,
bro, that's terrible.
Reports. Listen.
It's terrible.
So,
hold on, wait a minute. That's the kind of shit that white dudes, when they get drunk, call themselves. Oh, man.
I'm Rod Daddy from Cincinnati.
Hey, when we're feeling invincible, baby, we'll say.
He did it with a shimmy too. I know he was doing. When he says it's with a shimmy.
Yeah. One of these. He's going. You can call me. We haven't had an opportunity to bash on him, and I did actually want to point out, Tony, you just get it out of the way now. We're sellouts, man. So I'm gonna pull this up. We sell merchandise, motherfuckers.
My God, man. You know what? Because you like Wade said that you're not a big sales guy and negotiation guy. I mean, you're backing into this. You're passively aggressive in the right way. Like you're well received. So I'm buying a baseball team. Done.
So here's my thing though. I can't give people better sounding, better looking shit unless they help me, because the job that I do now doesn't pay for everything by any stretch of the imagination. But
he's hoping
while you're talking about buying baseball tees,
oh, I like that hoodie though. The hoodie's not awful.
Let me. Oh.
I got it. I got one. I got the blue one. I got the blue one.
You got the T-shirt. Yeah.
No, I bought the blue hoodie.
Oh yeah, you did. No, you bought the yeah. So we got some 3/4 sleeves.
And Sherry has the football jersey.
Oh, I like it.
If you're looking for a 3/4, we got options, man. I'm gonna hook you up with this. But with that being said, let me point this out: the Idiots Against Cancer shirts. The proceeds go directly to the American Cancer Society. We do not get any of the proceeds from that. It goes directly to them. What they do with it is up to them. Hopefully, they're putting it towards something good. So that's one thing we got to set up. And thank you for Bonfire for allowing us to do that. Is we can all the funding we get directly from those Idiots Against Cancer shirts, whether it's a T-shirt, hoodie. I mean, we got all sorts of things. You got the Razorbacks. Just the standard T-shirts, hoodies, long sleeves, crew neck sweaters, whatever you want, we've got it in that one. That's the one I always highlight because that one hits home a little bit for us here on Idiots on a Mic. So that's the one we try to support the most. But we've got one supporting military. We've got ones us being dumbasses. Let me pull this back. So it's not just about that. We're not the most serious show. I'm sitting here and call that out. And the reason I pulled this up is because we were talking about my boy, Rod Daddy from Cincinnati. This is for him in particular, the Rod Bod built by a beer. And you come over here on the back side of it. That's not your average daddy with the hashtag IOM, short for Idiots on a Mic. So we've got a variety of T-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs. We even got mugs. We got masks. We got everything. So go check it out. Bonfire.com. If you search Idiots on a Mic, you'll find our store. You'll be able to check that out. So
I would like to say that we're talking about how not serious the show is most times, but I'd like to say I feel like we went into a path at some point during the show earlier on where we classed it up. Tony classed it up. We had some serious conversations.
Yeah, we don't get that normally. Yeah, that was very nice to have.
Right, So I have a question, Tony, and I sent Matt. I don't know if he can pull up the picture or not, and he may not have it ready. You of course, after Invincible, you had access to some of the actors. You had a lot of access to Mark Wahlberg, right? You and Mark were cordial, even more. You and Michael Rappaport were cordial, even more. You and my boy K.I., you're one of your best friends out there, K.I. K.I. lives out in L.A. as well, so it's nice for Tony and K.I. to be able to hang out again. But so question though, what was it like working with Mark Wahlberg? We see.
Yeah, sorry guys. I you know what? I just realized I really messed this up. You guys wanted me for the juicy Hollywood stories that are
for sure.
Quite frankly, 20 years old.
Well, actually, let's. This is the story that I want. This is. I think what we're referring to. I hope what we're referring to. If not, I might just be putting you on the spot here. What?
Wow!
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 Tell us the juicy Hollywood stories behind this picture here.
Well, hey, everyone has a fall from grace, right?
What?
Here was mine. Just trying to make ends meet. No, I'm kidding. No, to be quite frank, I was very fortunate for the folks at Value City. Shout out to Columbus, Ohio, for giving me the opportunity and paying me to put on their clothes. Like, okay, I'll do it. Like, is it a little baggy for my liking? Sure. I mean, in fact, when I was looking at your sizes, I saw that for the for your t-shirts, you didn't have extra medium. That's kind of what I go to now. So that is not extra medium. So y'all pulled out. Yeah, that was your boy. Yeah, that's me in that white double goose, double XL.
Sweating under the non-LED lights because that was back in 1998, 99.
No, that was actually 2008. I'll give them that. And they had some decent makeup. I don't know if I was really shiny there.
The glitter was in full effect.
Look. I'll say this: like I've had an illustrious career, as we've talked about, right? Like I mean, I'm from runway model, as you guys can see here, to starring in Disney films across the world. No, like so what you got? Yeah, Mark Wahlberg is an amazing man, and I mean this wholeheartedly. Like, so we filmed this movie in Philadelphia. I didn't know him out here in LA prior to. We filmed this movie in 2005 at Penn Stadium in Philadelphia. He literally, like the show Entourage is loosely based on his life. So he literally there's a why am I blanking on my guy's name? What's the Johnny anyway. There's a real life Johnny. There's a real life
Pasquale?
No, Drama, Johnny Drama. Like Johnny Drama is like one of his best friends from Boston.
Is he the guy that puts all the stuff on his body? He's got tattoos on him.
He's got
a shorter guy.
He's fair skin, red hair. Oh, Peppermint Patty-esque.
Peppermint Matty.
Matty-esque. No, so so Johnny Drama was one of the stars. The turtle, like who's in that whole. They're all like, these are all his friends from Boston, and I bring that up because when we shot this film, we were out there in Philadelphia that summer for a good 4 months together. There was about 50 football extras, but of those 50, there was about 5 to 6 of us who worked really closely with Mark, teaching him how to run routes, catch balls, and we had scenes with him, which is like my epic scene where he blasts me and I fumble and he picks it up and scores, which is the climax of the movie. Well, because we worked closely on that, he let me into his circle a bit, and what he did was amazing. Every single day in his trailer, first off, he travels with the gym. The man stays fit, fit as hell. Like had full gym in his trailer, but he would invite us the football guys that work closely with him back to his trailer and have his personal chef, cook for all of us 3 meals a day.
Wow.
And just sit, chill with him, chop it up, talk to us about like what our interests are, who you be with, what numbers to dial. I couldn't help myself.
You can call your boo. I can call your boo. We can rendezvous at the club at a roundabout two.
Okay.
So he did all of that, and then to take it the next step, like where I really saw like Hollywood at firsthand was the nightlife. I was like extremely single at this time, so I'm not incriminating myself here.
No,
Mark had access. I thought as a collegiate athlete at Ohio State, and then playing, at the level I did professionally, that I pretty much saw everything. I hadn't. I hadn't. We would go out with Mark probably every other night for 4 months. In fact, what he did, which was really awesome, like he just finished filming Four Brothers during that time. While we're in the middle of shooting. No, it's not Jamie Foxx. It was Tyrese, the other black guy that does movies.
Sorry.
It was Tyrese and John Singleton.
I've been drinking.
John Singleton, R.I.P. Who
R.I.P.
Boys in the Hood, right?
He's dead.
Yeah, he died.
Oh, didn't know.
Of COVID, I believe, in 2020.
It wasn't really of COVID,
or was it a year? It may have been right prior to.
You just lied.
He definitely died.
He died. I know he died.
But I it may not be COVID. Let's Google that.
The pandemic's real, DJ.
There's your Google. There's your Google. I hear Aunt Sherry in the back. I hear Alexa. I hear Alexa in the background. I hear Alexa sharing.
Hey, look, I have a brand new microphone that is awesome. Bought it just for this show.
So anyway, I digress.
That's because we picked on you last episode.
So here was one of the coolest things. After hanging out with him and working with him for about a month, when they had the premiere for Four Brothers in Boston, John Singleton, Tyrese, and a few of the other characters, they flew in to watch some of our scenes on the field at Penn Stadium in Philadelphia. And then Mark invited myself and 4 other guys to take a private jet to the premiere in Boston later that night. And it was amazing. I'd never seen it. That was truly first class Hollywood, rock star, A-list stuff. It's cool. It was really cool. He let me in his life. So then to follow up, I had another season to play in LA the following year. And because we established that relationship, myself, KI, who you mentioned earlier, we would hang out with him and Michael Rappaport, which is a separate group of people here in LA. And we were in a circle, man. We were at Mariah Carey's parties and, all the relevant people at that time, and saw a lot of things. Russell Simmons, I just remember him walking around at one of these, and I love him. I have back to my books. I've read 3 of his books. He's big meditator. I'm into meditation. He was. I didn't know this at the time, what he was into. But I'm at these parties with all these models walking around and celebrities and everything, and he's holding his rosary beads, just walking around, really in his own zone. But models out of the blue, the dimiest of the dimes, 15s are just coming up to him, and he's just in his own little lane. It's Hollywood's crazy. It's amazing. That's not my life now, but it was kind of then.
So we talked earlier about cancel culture. So if we were, and we were mentioning names now that you've been around. We're talking about Russell Simmons. We're talking about Mark Wahlberg. There's stories about Mark Wahlberg back in the day when he was a youngster, yelling the word nigger and throwing rocks at black people and shit like that. We're talking about Russell Simmons, who's been accused of, through the Me Too movement, been accused of also a lot of sexist stuff. So with that in mind, I think this movement, this cancel culture movement, is a little bit tough because we are all humans, I would like to say we're all humans. We all make mistakes. Problem is when you're in that environment, when you're in that position, everything is escalated and elevated. You're held to a higher level, which should not be, because you're still just a human being trying to make it in the world. I agree with the Me Too movement. I agree with Black Lives Matter. We're not going to get into a political thing here, but what I'm saying is, did you see any of that, or did that make you feel any kind of way? Because back then you didn't know about that, so you never saw anything that would make you think that these guys were like that. I think even John Singleton was accused of some shit.
So here's my perspective. From
the Hollywood perspective and the way things work in Hollywood, can you see maybe how some people how some ladies can accuse these producers and directors of, getting out of the pocket, let's say?
So I don't want to have. I think this is a serious conversation, so I won't even shed any sort of
not part of this show,
any light to this. No. I want to speak on it, but I don't want to make any jokes around it. Here's what I'll say, because this is real. This is a real thing. I think that first and foremost, my perspective is it's very hard to judge a lot of these folks, being that if I were in the limelight, 18, my formative years, 18 to 20 to 30, with today's social media, I may not have the career that I currently have based off of some of the decisions that I've made. And I'm not saying that I was awful. It's just every little thing that you do gets completely. Good night, Momo.
Good night, Momo.
Gets completely, exacerbated because we are in the cancel culture.
I agree.
But I think the way that you just framed that up, I think that's one element I would like to change with it. What Mark Wahlberg was accused of versus what Russell Simmons was accused of. I don't think you can conflate everything and put it all in one bucket. You have to extrapolate it and look at each situation independently. Mark Wahlberg, from what I've heard during that time frame, I mean, let's look at all the factors around. He grew up in Boston, a very racist city. It happened when during some of his formative years before he may have had the understanding that he has now. Can we give him the benefit of the doubt that that's not who he is now? He's grown and
I think we can.
Which is what we want to see. So it would be a shame to cancel someone like that. Russell Simmons is a different situation where, as a grown ass man, like he's been accused of doing some of these things that I don't know are true or untrue. But only thing that I've ever witnessed with him and I've ever seen like firsthand, he's the consummate gentleman. He's consummate professional gentleman, just a really great man who's done a lot of great things. But let's remember that really great people can do bad things. Here's where I'll end it with this quote. We are all flawed creatures. Let's not be too mental.
So this goes back to understanding that this show is not prepped. There's only a few questions that are prepped. So whatever we talk about is whatever we talk about. Whatever comes up, you have a chance to answer it or not answer it. The only reason why I bring these things up is because our small community in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, whatever, doesn't get to see these things. So if you can shed a little bit of light on it, I appreciate it. And I get also, Tony, where you might say, I'm going to back away from that one because I wasn't really a party to that, so I can't say that. But I think you just opened it up for a lot of people to understand how life is as a superstar, And I think people need to hear that because we put these people up on a pedestal so high that none of us could ever reach that, And so now definitely you're always thinking somebody's looking down on you. And that's what sucks with this culture right now.
And that's the cultural phenomenon that really sparks interest for me is the fact that movie stars, musicians, any sort of performing arts superstar is inhuman almost to the point where they can do no wrong. So the mistakes they make are magnified to the umpteenth degree. And when you break it down for them as a human being as a whole, as you stated, at least in your experience. Now, I'm not going to overgeneralize that for all these cases that have come to light, whether it's racism or sexual harassment or things like that. I mean, we'll even use the example now, and I don't want to drag his name through the mud because we just don't know all the facts yet. But Deshaun Watson's going through something huge right now in the fact that there's 20 plus cases of sexual harassment out against him. And it's one of those things where it's like, you hear the first couple and you say to yourself, well, he's this superstar. Oh my God. They're freaking out to a totally different magnitude. Whereas, you see it on the 6 o'clock news. Oh, this guy's going around and sexually harassing 22 different masseuses. And you're like, wow, that guy's a pervert. Well, it's like, okay, well, if Deshaun Watson's really doing this, then why can't he be the same person? Or the fact that maybe he's not, I don't want to dismiss any of these cases, but maybe he's not doing this, but because of who he is, he's being brought into this negative light.
Yeah, look, I one thing I want to underscore, the point that one of the main points I want to underscore is that with celebrity does come responsibility, a certain level of responsibility. Like I disagree with half of Charles Barkley's statement that, I'm not a role model. I don't necessarily know that you have to be a role model.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ron. I think your parents and the people inside your home are your true role models. My uncle right here, this man that you see right here, has been my role model from day one, and he currently is today, present day. I mean, at 42 years old, that's my role model. That said, we're going to gravitate towards people that do great things that what we like. Like, I mean, I like from a musician perspective, there's multiple musicians that I love, but I try to like them in their element. There's so many athletes that I grew up idolizing. I like Michael Jordan is one. Like you couldn't tell me anything as a kid that there was a better person and a better I'm going somewhere and a better athlete than Michael Jordan. Now, athlete was correct. Person is, you hear so many different stories, and as an adult, you know what? Like that's Mike's a flawed man, just like he was great on the basketball court. That they're not both one and the same. We are all flawed humans, and I think
we're all flawed humans.
I think like to get back to the cancel culture, and I think the one element that's missing is introspection. Before you start to judge other people, look at yourself. Look at the people around.
For sure.
Why are you so quick? Is part of it a little bit of envy that okay, like I've seen them make it, now let's like take it all the way around. Let's take it down so they can have my life. You know, like that's an element to it. To your Deshaun Watson point, look, let's wait until all the facts come out, but it could be a case of a multitude of things, right? It could be they've got a very hungry lawyer that's gathering anyone who's ever given a massage and telling them that this is a windfall. You've got a chance to change your family's life, and they're all
Yeah.
Or there could be some there. We don't know who told his day in court, and no different than Robert Kraft. Have we heard anything from that?
No, and that slid off the radar
because we live in a litigious society, and what that comes is who has the most money has the greatest defense.
You know what? Hey, my cousin Ron Locke as joining in, and he's actually commenting as well. I think it'd be good to get Ron on the show. Ron's out. He's out in Sunnyvale. He also lives in Arizona, so he's been in tune with all the fires and all of the stuff that's going on out in California and LA. So I think he'd be good to get on the show at some point in time. So Ron, if you'd be interested in getting on the show at some point in time, from that point of view, give me a thumbs up. That's great. Good to see you out there tonight. So back to you, Tony. Back to you right now. So tomorrow, every day, I have a question for you. In your current position, so you've gone from, I've seen you go from a high school scholar, a standout athlete, into college, a college scholar, a standout athlete in college, into a professional position in the Arena League football, into being a superstar in the medical field, medical device field. What's your next move? You're back with Intuitive right now. What is your next move? What do you think? Where do you see yourself right now? Because I know you and I had also talked about maybe at some point, why not be a commentator? Why not do something sports related? And this day, I think 2020 showed us that blogs, vlogs, podcasts are the next big thing. So where are you in this market?
Present day, I'm a guest. I'm a fan of this market. I'm process oriented at this point in my life. I am purpose driven.
It is, Mike.
I would say that my current focus and purpose is scaling with my current company and mastering my current role and taking that to the next level and continue to expand my skill set. Like as far as anything outside of this funnel of business / sales, whether it's technology or whatever that I'm in, I'm very passionate about mentorship. I want to be in a position to enhance the lives of others around me through my experiences. And we've talked a little bit about like my experiences and like randomly this, the boy that was raised by his grandmother from small town Ohio, 10,000 people, Urbana, Ohio, who has somehow lived in 8 states in 12 years and had many failures, some successes. I think that wasn't all
some successes
for nothing.
some successes.
I think it was to put me in a position to pay it forward. So like for me, like it's mentorship. Could it be through this medium? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought that. This isn't something that's been top of mind for me.
Well, Matt, and I'll say the same thing with you, Matt. I feel like you are in a position right now, and your mindset is such that you want to give back to the community. Otherwise, you wouldn't have started this. You wouldn't have started on this path of such a thing that started out with you guys sitting on a couch talking shit. But now you see it. How did it turn into now you're going to actually support cancer events and support whatever other charities that are out there? So what is your goal?
I mean, it kind of hit me at a couple different times in my life. I mean, I lost. Now, granted, this has been fairly recent. You stop counting the years after a while, but I lost my grandmother and grandfather. My grandfather to what ended up becoming brain cancer, and just watching him deteriorate, and being at the hospice center with him, and he was either sleeping or kind of saying things that didn't make a lot of sense. And those things over time, and knowing that somebody out there has experienced that, and not to put Megan's family on blast if that's something they don't really want to talk about, but they're going through something similar now. Their grandmother has colon cancer and dementia, and she's experiencing things like that. That this world's such a shit place. Like if we can come on here and make people laugh in one aspect, and then in turn, if we can do enough to raise the money to give back, then that's what I want to do. And you see it, and I think it was especially highlighted through this pandemic is people took to social media, and it was almost like social media was their therapist. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of that. I think, but for some people that's an outlet. If that's what it is, that's what it is. But and the benefit of that is you get to share your story with other people, and that's, I mean, to some degree, that's our approach. Is like, hey, let's have a good laugh, let's share our stories, but in the meantime, let's do what we can to give back, because we've all been through some shit in one way, shape, or form. We're a big military friendly show, and whether it's military or law enforcement or just frontliners in general, again, that was especially highlighted throughout the pandemic, is you've seen some shit, you've done some shit, whether you're an everyday person or whether you are one of those frontliners that you've been through the business. We've all got some sort of struggle, and that's the other thing is I need to find, Bonfire does a really good job of setting it up so when it comes to donating directly, all your proceeds directly to certain fundraisers, you can do that. I want to find one specific for military, and maybe I just missed it and didn't see it, but I want to give back to those people as well. And this comment
I'll research it.
Okay. And this comment coming from Ursula, which is Graham to me, actually Rod's grandmother. She actually stepped into a grandmother role for me when my grandma passed. Rod and I were good friends going through that whole thing. So, and she lost her late husband to cancer. So, like I said, everybody's out there experiencing that beast, and it doesn't seem like there's an end in sight yet. So why not do our part in putting money towards that? And I mean, we came up with a vaccine within a year, and we basically we funneled funding directly towards it. So let's do what we can to funnel funding towards cancer research, so we can end this beast and all have better lives for it in the long run.
Perfect.
Well, hey, well said, and
yeah, for sure.
Like that was amazing.
So
it's beautiful.
So let's try to round this out with. I have a question. No, and it is serious. Legacy.
Okay. Oh,
if you passed away, and this wasn't on the list of questions, if you passed away and you had to write your own obituary, or if you thought about what your legacy would be, and this may not be easy to answer tonight because that's a really serious thought, and it's very introspective. What do you think you want your legacy to be? Because nobody wants to leave this world. Well, I don't want to leave this world. I don't care about the money. I don't care about any of that. I don't want to leave this world without having made a mark on at least one person, and namely my child, my wife, people in my family. Having made a mark on them, what would you want your legacy to be?
You know, I'd hope that, you know, my epitaph would say, you know, Anthony Allen Locke, born May 19th, 1978, died at 105 years old. I don't know what the date is.
Right.
He was a good man, a great husband and father, my most important jobs, and a great family member who we always knew that we could count on. He had an adventurous soul and full of life. And if, you know, on your epitaph, you typically have a quote, and I live. This is a quote I live by, and I firmly believe this. It's Maya Angelou. It's, you know, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people never forget how you made them feel.
Right.
That's how I try to lead my life.
And to build off of that, for my legacy, it would be personability. Like I want people to think of me as someone who got along with everybody. And Rick, you and I talked about this a lot the past couple of trips you and I have been on together, is the way you approach people. I have such respect for, because it's always a how are you doing? And you spark a conversation with them, and to get along with everybody, because I mean, basically what we just discussed, you have no idea what any one person's going through. If you can make them smile, if you can make them laugh, humor is the number one value to me, because everyone, and as humor is different for every person. If you have a dark humor, okay, that's not it's not a big deal to me. Like, as long as you're not like acting out this dark humor that you have, that's one thing as opposed to another. Humor doesn't have to be true. And that's the beauty of comedy, of humor, of being able to laugh with people, is it doesn't have to be true. It's this fantasy. It's what you create. And if you can build on any one person's fantasy to make them laugh, that's like, I love not only like the sound of laughter. That sounds kind of weird, but like the sound of laughter.
No, that's awesome.
Making people laugh. That shit is top notch for me. That's the key component in life, and that's the legacy I would want to live for sure.
I would have to say that I would at least, if it were a short sentence or a short statement, I would love for mine to say family first. He put family first. And family isn't defined by your brother, your sister, your aunt, your cousin. It's defined by the people that you work with all the time. It's defined by the people that you vibe with. a lot of my friends that I thought I'd be best friends with from high school, they're not my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
My best friends are people that I work with. Your father, you are quickly becoming one of my best friends, Peppermint Maddie. Tony Locke, I can't even tell you. There are no words that can describe what we have. But I think I would want it to say he put family first. But on top of that, I'm still building my legacy, and I hope I still have a few more years to come up with some more cliche shit, you know? But right now, I wanted to say family first and put it in that vein. You know what I mean?
I can respect that, certainly.
I think it's accurate coming from him. When I think of Uncle Ricky, I think of we've had a lot of turmoil in our family due to deaths and different situations, untimely deaths over the past several years consistently, unfortunately. And he and Aunt Sherry are the bedrock of all that. They're our stability, no matter who's beefing with who or what's going on here.
Amazing.
They have that. This is what he's saying. This is who he is. So I didn't want to steal any of your shine, but that needs to be to follow up to what.
No. I am so glad you put the spotlight on Sherry because she's amazing. She really is. I mean, I can't, without tearing up, I can't say a whole lot more, to be honest with you. This is not that kind of show.
Well, let me put it on a lighter note. I know for a fact how you would pass. I don't want to take that in a dark way, but it would definitely be from drinking that second can of 2 stacks is what would kill you. So let's end on this.
Talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
Is this another shameless plug?
No. They are not a sponsor of ours by any means. In fact, if they approached us, I would say no because
I would say no.
Drink this regularly. Yeah,
you boys are wild about. Okay.
We would in fact have to drink it regularly, and that's not something I plan on doing. Oh no! So we're in Minneapolis. We're doing a job together. I didn't know it was that clear. I thought it would have been dark.
I didn't either. I'm probably not going to drink this at all. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not drinking this. I'm not drinking it.
That was honest. I appreciate that. But you poured it in the can so well.
I'm not drinking it. I'm not drinking it.
We go to Minneapolis. We are at the liquor store, and we're looking for whatever. And these are sitting in a basket at the counter.
In a basket.
That should have been the first clue that these were not of a high quality by any stretch of the imagination. Hey, let's get a couple of these. We're going to sit down at the hotel, have a few beers, BS, which we did for hours, by the way. He skated out of a situation where he was going to get his ass handed to him in pool. Luckily, the restaurant manager politely told him, Sir, the ass whooping you're about to take is not a liability that we can have on our hands.
Wow.
So we can't do that. No. So
hey, Matt, but wait. So what you don't understand, though, is Tony has been a part of some of our business trips. He's actually been, I think, on 2 business trips where we met up. So he knows Todd. He knows Mike Dahlquist. He might have even been there with your dad. He knows Bob Greenwood, who is no longer with the company. So he knows these people. He's actually been on some of our business trips. He knows how this shit goes down.
Who's my guy out of New York that does not
Bob Greenwood. Bob Greenwood.
Yes. Like he was entertaining. Yeah. We Todd treated me to a very nice dinner in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Enjoyed me and the whole team. This was what, 2017, 18?
Yeah. So, that's another thing about Tony. Dates, his memory. I don't even know how to keep. I'm
sensing that. Yeah.
It's actually the only way I can keep things straight. It's weird. Like I don't. Yeah.
Hey, no, that's great because you have an awesome spank bank.
We went from here and we took it here. That's the beauty of the show. That's the beauty of the show.
Here's what happens is we go through. So we do have a more or less sponsor. It's a couple guys we play. Rod and I played rugby with. Own a CBD company now, so we kind of promote them a little bit and do their thing. And we're so I go through my CBD ad read, and he's sitting here talking about how his wrist hurts. So naturally, the comments come about now. Yeah. So, by the way, do you want to for the audio only listeners? We heard you groan. You took a sip of the 2 stacks, and now you're sucking down a Heineken 0.0 because I
like the taste of Heineken, and this tastes like Heineken. But I like. See, here's how I drink. I drink a beer plus whatever. A beer plus.
I know.
So what I'm trying to do is be more responsible. 0.0, 0 calories, 0 alcohol. But I can still get down.
Elijah Craig. Love it.
Right? What was that?
I got a little.
Oh, the dog's there.
You got a husky there, a beautiful husky.
Right. Oh, wait a minute.
So
where's Benson?
Oh, I don't know. Where's the? I have. Speaking of, the ginger jokes earlier around.
Yes. Let's. By the way, I heard the comments while I was taking.
Who was joking about gingers?
My headphones still work while you guys are doing that. So yeah, that's fantastic. By the way.
Well, my uncle brings up Benson, who's our latest addition. He's a Maltese toy poodle, but he's actually ginger. He's the most beautiful little ginger man I've ever seen.
He is beautiful. And Peppermint Maddie, you are a beautiful man.
I see what you're trying to do. He's trying to kiss ass now because I heard the comments. That's what he's doing.
I sent you the contract already. You're good.
So I made the joke. It was either last episode or Rod and I were just talking, and it was like, Rick has kind of taken on this manager role for us until he sends us a contract to how much money he wants to make, and then we're just gonna have to cut ties. I mean, we'll still be family members, but we're gonna have to cut ties when it comes to the show. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Love it.
Hey, listen, I have been lax though. I didn't even know Rod had 2 different names at one point in time. So yeah, I'll get better at it. So just give me a minute. We'll do well. Trust me.
Well,
so
it's all with that work right now because he's proved that he doesn't actually watch the show unless he's on it. And
I do watch the show. So with that in mind, Tony, we'd love to have you back on again.
Yes, for sure.
I feel like we like charismatic people. So take this with a grain of salt. I feel like I don't care what Nate has to bring to it. I think Nate would be great. Oh. Mike Johnson has already thought he wanted. Listen, if you want a talker, Nate is that guy.
Well, first off, I'm just
he works for Chase.
I think it's like he and Mike would be perfect guests.
No doubt. I want K on. I want Ki on.
Ki Spice would be a really good guest for you.
I mean, Matt, you're about to get people from so many different perspectives and different places around the world right now that I told you I had a bunch of ideas.
I know.
And these are my ideas.
Yeah, so because what Nate's going to give you? He gives you that Vince Vaughn appeal, and what he's going to tell you a whole bunch of Ohio State college.
He looks like Vince Vaughn.
As he was impersonating being on the team, and how he was able to. And here, cliffhanger for your guest, Mike Johnson I think we're beyond the statute of limitations, so I can share this. Mike Johnson was able to watch an Ohio State Michigan game from the sideline just because I was able to while I was still playing, I gave him my varsity jacket, and they didn't check anything. No ticket. I'll let him tell you that story. Amazing story behind it. Amazing night.
Hey, you still got that jacket, or?
Yeah, it's again. I'm an extra medium now, so it looks like I looked in that Value City ad. Look, I've gone over to the Woody Hayes facility several times in the last probably 5 years trying to get Rob Lachey to give me a jacket that fits, and he keeps brushing me off. There you go.
Maybe
That's what I look like. That's what I look like in my varsity. In fact, next time we're on, I will put that on. I will put on the varsity jacket. But yeah.
Okay. I was just saying, if you still have that white Value City jacket, we got to talk, bro.
They were only letting me cash checks, no clothes.
So, but listen, honestly, so Tony, you have a pair of the golden pants, right?
Correct.
You've got rings.
Correct.
You've got jerseys from. So if you had to sum up your professional athlete a career, positive or negative, which way would you go? Let's end it with that.
100% positive. Like this, like nothing I would change. Except for, retiring in the NFL and the Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio, back where the boy comes back home. But that didn't happen. Are we talking about
that was Rudy, motherfucker. That was Rudy.
No, like I wouldn't change anything at all.
So what I would say is that when I look back on your career, because I've we've been there with you. When I look back on that, is that you're also fortunate that you came away with no lasting injuries, that I know of, because except for your crazy as fuck. But there it could have been worse. You could have actually gotten hit and had some really, really life-altering injuries. So that's one thing I will say for sure. And Sherry says, we still have a sweatshirt. What is a pole?
There it is.
Motherfucker,
Wait, like no, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Right? But I will say this, and I think, Matt, your family will say the same thing. It's been a pleasure following Tony, doing some of the things that I dreamed of doing. I played high school football. I played high school basketball, ran track. I was always in the shadow of some really great players, to be honest with you. But I was a good athlete, without a doubt. So it's great to see what my nephew has done. And I know your dad feels the same way watching you. Your dad loves baseball. You know what I mean? So it's great to be on this sideline and still vicariously live through you two young men. And I praise you both, and I love you.
And I'm gonna leave the show with this, and we'll wrap it up for today. I'm sure my future wife is probably like, this motherfucker, you gonna come to bed anytime soon? It's 11 here, 11 here on the East Coast.
I'm getting the same look with dinner in hand. Like, you gonna eat?
Wrap it up.
Because if you ain't gonna eat, I'm
wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
I'll leave with this, and this is going to be tough for you guys to hear. You got the hat on there, Captain Sweat. I grew up in Illinois. Okay, I grew up in Illinois. We didn't have a college team to root for, so when I came over here and I had to listen to these rowdy, mouthy, motherfucking Ohio State fans, I despise. I don't despise them, but I'm not a big Ohio State fan. That has nothing to
So can I tell you how I understand you, and like you would think like this is blasphemous coming from an Ohio State guy. I never liked Ohio State until I went to Ohio State. I grew up the biggest Notre Dame fan in the entire world, like 100%, because I was so annoyed by all of the rowdy Ohio State fans around me, like, oh, we love Ohio State. But I pulled for them slightly because of who he's referenced. His best friend, Greg Rogan, and Patrick Rogan, they were our neighbors, lived across the street from us. They were recruited, like blue chip recruits by Ohio State. Boo, motherfucker, boo! I hear you. And with that though, like those were the only guys that like I ever like that made me pay attention to Ohio State. But outside of that, I feel you, Peppermint Patty. Not mad at that. I can't even be mad at you for
that. So let's wrap up today's show with on such a high note about how we hate Ohio. No, I'm just kidding. Right. We'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up for today. Tony, I can't thank you enough for the 3 hours that you just locked in with us for today. This will for sure be a regular thing. We'll incorporate you in the discussions for our marathon episode moving forward. It'll be nice because I'm hoping to just be able to send out a mass link, and when people want to chime in, they can chime in. We can have up to 10 people at one time going on in one discussion. So hopefully we can get that set up and it coordinates well with everybody. We're looking for early to midsummer sometime. So Rick will be in touch with you. We'll be in touch with you any way we can. We'll get this coordinated. I'm going to be in your neck of the woods here next week. I'm going to be in San Francisco next week. So kind of your neck of the woods, close. I know, not quite, but, next time I'm in LA, we'll definitely try to link up somehow, some way. I know you guys got your vacation coming up there in end of June, early July. I'm sending them to you with an Idiots on a Mic t-shirt, so you'll have a t-shirt to represent. Don't be excited. It's my ugly mug and Rod's ugly mug right on the fucking front of it. So if you use it to wipe your ass, that's fine, as long as you promote yourself wiping your ass with an Idiots on a Mic t-shirt. I'm fine with that too.
Fair point. Actually, maybe Uncle and I can do a show while we're together with you out here.
That'd be a great thing.
Yeah, San Francisco's a little far. We're good.
Yes,
hour flight, 8-hour drive. But yes. I may be in Ohio in May, and if I am, we'll definitely have to meet up. 100%.
Well, we'll make something happen. Like I said, I can't thank you enough for coming on, and kudos to you for everything that you've accomplished. And hopefully next time we're able to link up, whether it's a month from now or whenever, we've got more accomplishments to discuss and stack on top of today's conversation. And I rest assured I will have, now that we covered a lot of serious matters today as well too. So next time we have you on, straight bullshit. I can promise you that.
We got this all out of the way.
That's what I'm probably best at. And again, like
perfect.
The aforementioned friends of mine and family members because that's what they are to him. It'll be a good time. Well, look, man, I appreciate you guys having me. Truly, truly a pleasure. Love you guys. Take care. I don't know you yet to love you, but I love him. Sorry.
So we do one of two things at the end of every show. We give each guest an opportunity to shout out whoever they want to shout out. I know there's been a couple mentions throughout the show. So if there's anybody you'd like to shout out at this point, that's now is your time. It's your floor to do so.
Lean into the camera. Lean into it.
Wait, hold on. I got okay.
There it is.
I have to shout out the folks that hold me down on a daily basis, that deal with all my crazy and all my moves. You know, as we mentioned earlier, eight states in 12 years. Corey Marie Locke, the best woman ever made. Sorry, Aunt Sherry. My daughter, Emerson Elizabeth Hope Locke. Oh my gosh, like that girl, she's amazing. Like she gets me up every day. She's our purpose. And of course, Mr. Benson. He's a ginger like yourself. So those are my folks. Those are my folks. Shout out to my folks. Love you guys.
The last thing we do is whatever, you had your glass of whiskey earlier, whatever glass you've got, we always tip it. He's got that full glass of 2 stacked in there.
I mean, I guess I have to. Look, I stop. I
can't drink that 2 stacks. I can't drink it. I'm going to the bottle.
So we always tip a glass to everyone who listened, everyone who chimed in, everyone who's been supporting us. Thank you guys, and as always, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salud.
Salud.